Gets a toss sweep. Steps up. Fires for the end zone. The pass is going to be knocked away. Incomplete. And Tennessee has won in overtime.
Oh, Trevor Knight. He went in on catch to the left side.
Rosen heaves it. Incomplete. Aggies win.
Dobbs back to throw. Fires. Man wide open. Juwan Jennings bobbles it. Stays in bound down the sideline. All the way to the checkerboard. Touchdown, Tennessee.
The streak has ended.
That's Reynolds. Caught it. Broke a tackle. 92 yards. Reynolds. Touchdown. Texas A&M.
Dobbs heaves it. They're bunched up in the end zone. It's tipped up. It's caught. It is caught. Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings. My, oh my. We welcome all of you to the Home Depot SEC on CBS. This afternoon, the Tennessee Volunteers come to Kyle Field in College Station to take on the Aggies of Texas A&M. They come in all ages here, and they are dressed in either maroon or orange. It's Tennessee's first visit ever to College Station. Hi once again, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson. We welcome you to this sometimes raucous scene. Back in the first weekend of this year, both of these teams won. They both won in overtime. Tennessee over Appalachian State and Texas A&M over UCLA. Here we are, middle of the season, and here we are, Gary. They are both 5-0.
Yeah, but I don't get the same feeling. Tennessee's 5-0 for the first time since '98, and they say we're a team of destiny. A&M's 5-0 for the third straight year, and it didn't work out well. So we'll see how this game goes.
It seems to me that there are great similarities in these two.
Yeah, I think you're right, Vern. It starts right at the quarterback position. Both of these guys, Josh Dobbs and Trevor Knight. Dobbs, veteran quarterbacks who lead their team in a lot of different ways. Their toughness, intelligence, leadership skills. Trevor Knight is coming in, the right guy at the right time to lead this program. I think at receivers is another good set of receivers led by maybe their toughest playmakers. Juwan Jennings did just about everything except drop the ball, like we've just seen right there in warm-ups. And Christian Kirk, one of the great playmakers the SEC has all over the football field, and they find places for him to get him the ball. But the real playmakers in this game are on the defensive side, and they're similar too. How will the offenses handle two of the best pass rushers in all of college football? Those are the similarities of these teams, and why both teams say we got to stop those guys.
Well, given all these similarities, how do you see this being decided?
Well, I really don't know, but it hasn't stopped me before. So let's start with, I think they got to figure out a way, Tennessee does. Will the replacements step up in this game? Last week they had 3 defensive players hurt. Now Jalen Hurd, their 1-2 punch and running back, will not play in this football game. Where will Tennessee's backup step up? And the next part is kind of confusing. Which team will make the other team's quarterback just play quarterback? Because if they're 1-2 punch runner and quarterback, it could be tough. How's that?
That'll do. I think you handled that very well. Well, given a midseason game of this magnitude, it seems only appropriate to welcome country music star Garth Brooks.
Now it's kicking in, pure adrenaline. No one's ever been where you're standing. Aggies and the vault until the last one falls. Here we go again. Tennessee wins!
It's the Volunteers and the Aggies, the SEC on CBS.
Pure adrenaline, yeah.
Full house at Kyle Field, or it will be shortly. And they are here to watch 2 unbeatens, the Volunteers of Tennessee and the Aggies of Texas A&M. Moments ago, our Allie LaForce on the far side of the field had a chance to chat with Tennessee head coach Butch Jones.
Coach, you've been living on the edge with comebacks in 4 of your last 5 games. Is there any pixie dust left? And if so, how do you avoid using it today?
Well, what we have to do is just focus on winning the down and winning the series, and one snap at a time, no more, no less.
You've dealt with injuries on the defensive side all season. Now you're without running back Jalen Hurd. How has that affected your game plan for today?
Our football team has responded all year long, and we don't expect nothing but that.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Vern, pixie dust might work once or twice, but not when you're 5-0. This is a real football team.
And Allie hustled across the field where she just caught up with A&M coach Kevin Sumlin.
Coach, you've been here before. The last 2 years started 5-0, but they didn't end the way that you envisioned. Why will this year be different starting with today?
Well, I just think we got different chemistry. You know, we played 3 SEC games too, so a little bit different than non-conference opponents. Our guys have performed well. I don't think that's going to change today.
You're well aware of Tennessee's second half magic. How do you avoid that happening on your home field?
Well, we got to play for 4 quarters. They've proven that. Like I said before, luck's once or twice, 4 times, that means you're pretty good. So we got to handle it. We'll be all right.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Did I steal his line or did he steal my line?
I think you stole his. I don't
I didn't
put the blame squarely on you.
Either way, it's true.
It is a gorgeous October afternoon in the Brazos Valley. 82 degrees. Look at the humidity only at 48%. Very comfortable. Only the 3rd time these 2 teams have ever met. The first was in the '57 Gator Bowl, and the last 2005 Cotton Bowl, Tennessee won both. And as we mentioned at the outset, this is the Volunteers' first visit ever to College Station. Tennessee won the toss, deferred. Aaron Medley will kick it off, and it will be through the end zone, touchback. And that is going to give us a chance to introduce you to, go ahead, thank you very much, the Chick-fil-A starting lineups, and that leads us to Trevor Knight.
Well, I can't say he's a pretty passer, but he's a darn good quarterback, and that's the most important thing, and he has created a really balanced offense here at Texas A&M this year.
Graduate transfer student from Oklahoma, and named the starter. He enrolled early, seeking a graduate degree, and he has been a steadying force for this team. And on first down, Trayveon Williams, number 5, who has assumed the starting spot in that backfield as a true freshman. Genesee, one of the best. Jermaine Illuminor is back after injury. Frank Henicho gets the start. Ricky Seals-Jones out for the 2nd straight week at that spot. Knight pressured, lets it go deep, double coverage, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38-yard line by Todd Kelly Jr.
Well, if you've got a star in the defensive line, sometimes he makes star quality plays, and watch what happened here. Rush inside, he gets a quick pressure on the quarterback, Derek Barnett, a whiff inside, and forces an interception. Trevor Knight would have been better off just eating this throw, but give that one to Derek Barnett. He's 1 for 1 in this game.
4th interception of the year for Trevor Knight. And the ball taken over by the Volunteers at their own 46. Blitz. Nice pass from Josh Dobbs to Josh Smith. And the Chick-fil-A starting offensive lineups, which reintroduces all of you to Josh Dobbs, senior, aerospace engineering degree in the short term. And this is Alvin Kamara. Again, Jalen Hurd did not make the trip. We continue with the starting lineups. Looks like a player is down. Kendrick Robertson, Wiseman Jones. There's Kamara. Hurd did not travel to College Station. We'll develop that story as we go on. 3rd down. They need 2. Left side, no!
And the other team's star, Vern.
Miles Garrett.
You got it.
You bet. You're pretty on the mark with that opening.
Well, how hard can this be? They're two great football players. They jump into what is called a bear look, where they cover everybody inside. That creates one-on-one blocking for the superstar, and you're not going to do it.
Christian Kirk back inside the 10. He has 2 returns for touchdowns as a punt returner, both of those last year. This one short, and a fair catch taken. But an interception for the Aggies. A fine defensive play by Myles Garrett, who sat out last week with a sore left ankle. It's heavily padded, but he's going, as you can see. We're back at Kyle Field, and time to introduce you to the Tennessee defensive 11. Got an interception on the first offensive series of the game. Vereen, Vickers, O'Brien, there's Barnett. Has been a huge star this year. Jumper in the middle. Big game last week. Rashawn Golden also called out by his coaches, but Gary, they are missing key defensive players.
They are. Cam Sutton, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, and Darren Kirkland, 3 elite defensive players. We'll see, though. The last 2 weeks, the substitutes have done a pretty darn good job. Colton Jumper's been the leading tackler back-to-back weeks.
First down 10. They hand it off right side. Is Trayveon Williams. It's amazing he's still listed on the official depth chart as a 3rd team, but he is the leading rusher on this ball club.
Absolutely, and he has electric speed. Came in early as a freshman, went through spring ball and earned these playing time with his great ability.
That's a first down. They tried the sweep. It's Williams again. Look at him fly down the sidelines and out of bounds in the vicinity of. Well, they're going to mark him out.
Yeah, they stepped out at the 33, 34 yard line, it looks like. I don't know if he did or not, though, to tell you the truth. It's very close whether he stepped out. I think his right foot came out 33, 34, let's see.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That right foot split the chalk line.
And the reason A&M and Kevin Sumlin thinks they're going to be different is they are different.
Here's Williams again on a first down play.
We talked about the 5-0 starts. Allie asked them what's different. Just about everything on this football team different. Quarterback with senior leadership. They run the ball. They're extremely balanced on offense. They're just a different looking football team. They're much bigger. And you could tell by the running plays early in this game, their offensive line is now a weapon.
Williams, a running back out of Houston, C.E. King High School in his freshman year. That's Kirk in motion to the near side. 4-man rush for Tennessee. Pass into the flat. And it's caught, but not for much. Trayveon Williams and Colton Jumper, a backup middle linebacker who played so well last week with the tackle. The rushing leaders in yards. You see Trayveon Williams, number 4.
Yeah, made the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's right.
I put familiar for you.
Yeah, well, you know, only 3 back. Williams knocked away.
Yeah, he didn't do a very good job of pass protecting on that one, though. He is not a big running back, and that time he went low, and I think Trevor Knight felt the blitzing linebacker as he let this go. Watch Trayveon come in, and he chew dust on it, and then right in his face is Cortez McDowell. That produced a throw that was just a little off target.
And that brings on Shane Trapuka for punt. They come after it. He's bumped, but it's ruled incidental. There is no flag, despite Trapuka's pleading for one from the referee David Smith.
I live in Detroit, and that's exactly how Kelly Trapuka used to act when he got fouled. Exactly like that.
Kelly is his uncle.
Let's see if there's any. Yep, basketball player at Notre Dame. And then, did he get touched? Just barely. No, that's a good no call.
Time call.
You know, it's hard to spot those things sometimes. They spotted it late. Allie talked to Butch. Maybe she has more. Allie?
Yeah, Gary, I talked to him to confirm that Jalen Hurd's injury was a lower extremity injury, and he said he prefers that we go with undisclosed injury because he's actually dealing with multiple injuries. Jalen asked Coach not to disclose the injury, so he's respecting him on that. He went to practice Monday, tried to practice Tuesday, and could not go, so they held him out of practice. I asked Coach, how serious is it? And he said, we expect him to be back next week.
In time for Alabama at home in Knoxville. Here's Dobbs. Left side, it's Tyler Bird out of Naples. And let's check the Aggie defensive unit, led by John Chavis. Hall, Henderson, Walker, Sean Washington, they all congratulated him about the kind of season he's had. Plays every down. First down. That's Bird in motion. And that's Bird stuffed by Sean Washington, just on cue.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and this A&M entered the league. They entered it with a wide open passing offense. Johnny Manziel took them to spectacular heights. And I always felt that the defense kind of had an inferiority complex. Like, let's just make them punt once, and we did our job. No longer. They're a big part of the football team.
John Kelly is in the lineup in place of Kamara. This pass is incomplete, tipped, and then almost caught on the deflection. Ethan Wolf, the intended receiver.
Well, Brent Kendrick, number 63, is going to get the assignment on this one. And he does a good job. Watch him man up right in the middle and control. This time to the outside. They had number 40, Jarrett Johnson, in that position, rushing from there.
They're down 7, scoreless first quarter. Dobbs bumps, goes deep, it's hit. Is that a forward pass or a fumble? It is ruled a fumble and an Aggie recovery.
Boy, I think that was Myles Garrett. I think that got the hit and the fumble. I'm not sure, but I think it was 15.
Zakoven Henderson might have been a part of it.
Let's see.
92.
There's Garrett. Look at Garrett. He's the first one to him, and he gets him from behind. It is Myles Garrett rushing from a different spot inside. He's the one that forces. Man, these guys are a highlight film in and of themselves. 15 for him. What a monster play, rushing inside, came over the middle. They didn't align him again to the outside, but what a football player. And you're right, it was Zakovian Henderson that got the fumble recovery, Vern.
Take another look at it from the beginning. There's the contact from Myles Garrett, the All-American.
Yeah, and we're not even sure if he's quite 100%, if you can imagine that.
Well, 80% is pretty good.
Yes.
50% will be serviceable.
Vern, after the turnover, A&M defense held strong. Let's see if Tennessee can do the same.
Knight gives it off again to Trayveon Williams.
Inside, I think Shy Tuttle, number 2, did a good job that time stuffing up that play. We always talk about the bookend ends, but if they don't have the tackles inside, they'll just go through it like Swiss cheese.
Second down after a 1-yard gain. No score, 2 turnovers. One by either team. Play action. Knight goes deep, has a man open, and overthrows him. Whoa!
Yeah, he didn't have all time again, though. He had to pick out a spot because number 9 put pressure. Let's look at the move to the outside. One-on-one coverage. It's going to be beat him on the line. He's got him wide open. But does he have time to really pull the trigger? He could feel the pocket closing. I know A&M feels and Trevor Knight feels I got to make that throw. But it happened in a split second, and it was about a foot too high.
And that brings up third down.
This is when they do the quarterback draw right in here, too.
3-man rush. And sidearm.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Yeah, and
Williams
got it. Trayveon Williams, a little move at the end.
I think it was Christian Kirk. Yes.
Beg your pardon.
I thought for sure he was going to run right up the middle on this one, but out the corner of the eye, this is what he does. He is so acrobatic when he's in there. 1, 2, 3 tackles, and watch, A&M will go fast before the replay official has a real good chance to look at this one.
First down and 10. Williams goes between tackles. And let's take a look at the Texas A&M Verizon red zone stats. Not all that good. 48% touchdowns. That's 16 percentage points below the national.
Well, what hurt
average.
him was against Auburn. They were 1 for 5 in the scoring zone in that Auburn football game. They could not get in the end zone. They were dominating the game, but they couldn't score.
Danny O'Brien for Tennessee is the injured player. While they tend to him, we will step aside.
Well, you know, Vern, when you've got tools, you switch them around. And that's what actually both teams are doing. Derek Barnett moved inside and attacked the guard. Myles Garrett gets helped on this play using the bear front, but watch, he moves inside on the guard and center and plows through to force the turnover. Both stars already have forced turnovers in this game.
And we are looking at a second down inside the 13-yard line. And Danny O'Brien on the bench. Alan LaForce telling us that he should be just fine. 2nd and 7. Knight bobbles the snap. Sidearms it out. Right side. It's Christian Kirk. And he has gotten a touchdown. If you're not expecting that, it'll cause you to jump.
Vern, you're an old veteran of these Texas A&M games. That's
True.
coming every time. You knew that.
And now the extra point attempt. Daniel Cameron will kick it. Connor McQueen, who is a senior on scholarship now, part of the leadership council that Kevin Sumlin selected to meet every Wednesday. He's the holder. The kick is up.
You know, Vern, you ever play cards where you guys got a good hand and his eyes get real big? Well, the eyes got real big here because he's got Christian Kirk on an inside linebacker, Colton Jumper. So Trevor Knight's eyes go, oh my goodness, I've got exactly what I want right here. And he knew what, by the time he was going to let that ball go, he had a touchdown, and he said, no big deal here, good protection. Inside, they did as good as they could do, helping him throw that football, but it was from the snap, he knew he had it.
John Chavis, second year as defensive coordinator at A&M, longtime player and defensive coordinator at Tennessee. If you think he has mixed emotions about this game, wrong.
Yeah. Well, one thing I know about John, that's his happy face right there. He's thrilled. He's just ecstatic. That's longtime veteran of the SEC. You do not celebrate too early when you're a defensive coordinator in this league.
Well, he was fired by Lane Kiffin, and he said in a very animated conversation with us yesterday, it turns out, yes, he was bitter, but it was the best thing that ever happened to him. He then signed on with LSU, and then after some degree of negotiation, he signed on with Texas A&M, and he said, hey, without Lane Kiffin saying you're no longer needed here, I wouldn't be making the money I'm making. Evan Berry of the Berry family.
He is electric. Boy, is he electric.
Yep. Airlines.
And Chavis has his backups in for this series. He's going to play long ball with his defensive front. He's very deep, at least 2 deep at every position at the defensive line.
First down 10. That's Alvin Kamara. Well, look at the differential between what they've done in the first quarter. They've fallen behind by at least 10 points in 4 of their 5 wins. The only one in which they led the whole way was the victory over Ohio University. Play action, Dobbs goes deep left side. A battle for the ball. It's ruled incidental contact And it's incomplete, intended for Josh Malone.
Yeah, Donovan Wilson in coverage that time was one of the most valuable players on this defense. He plays part linebacker, part strong safety, part slot man-to-man. And John Chavis has compared him to the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, when he had at LSU, and number 15's in the game.
Garrett is at right defensive end. He takes an inside rush. They have to get rid of it quickly, which they do. And Kamara still runs.
He's fast.
Still going. Fumble.
And A&M has it. How about that?
Armani Watts having a wonderful season again. Stripped it out.
I mean, they just yanked it out. You're right, Vern. Right at the end of this. I mean, we talked about Kamara, what a valuable football player he is for this team. No one really judges his speed. And then right at the end, number 23 just takes it away from him, bobbles it, and then they get it back. By the way, we talk about John Chavis and an impact a coach can have. That's now the 23rd forced fumble since Chavis came to Texas A&M. That's third most in the Power 5 conferences. He teaches it, he preaches it, and his team now, A&M, is doing it.
And that negates a 55-yard Alvin Kamara run. Keeper, Knight, and he can do this and do it well. He was the Davey O'Brien Player of the Week, Quarterback of the Week in their win against Arkansas.
This was
as much on the ground as in the air.
This was a keep all the way. Keeping this ball, he knew he was going to do it. He had the arc block to the outside, and I'll tell you, it came within about an inch of Kyle Phillips not forcing him out, and he could have gone another 20 yards.
Sweep again. This is Keith Ford. Now he's another transfer from Oklahoma. He sat out a year. Both of these men played in an Oklahoma win over Tennessee a couple of years ago. Second down, 6. Knight. Boom. Derek Barnett again.
Yeah, it was a poor snap that time, and that threw off the play. But if you give Derek Barnett a half a second too much, he's going to make the play. Just coming off the blind side, low snap. That forces Knight not to be able to stay on the play, and everything from there just went downhill fast. I think the running back was supposed to pick up Barnett. It was supposed to be a play-action pass. Nothing happened, and it was going to be disaster from the time the ball landed low.
Third down, 15. 3 down linemen. They blitz and bring 6. Screen pass. Got it. Perfect. This is Keith Ford.
Oh, man. He got the minimum, Keith Ford did. Alvin Kamara took the screen pass and went 55 yards. Keith Ford got as little as he could get. He ran right into the tackle.
And then Malik Foreman got up and made the stop.
I mean, if you're the offensive coordinator, Noel Mazzoni here, you go, I mean, their guy gave him a screen pass and he went for 55. I gave you the exact same thing, Keith, and you got the minimum. It's going to force a punt.
Malik Foreman is down, and we will take a timeout. Thank you, Adam, and that brings to mind the fact that one of the games in the SEC was postponed because of Hurricane Matthew. That would be LSU at Florida. Trapuka. And here goes Josh Smith going right. Oh, he got a terrific block, and then there's a great tackle.
Well, that's back-to-back time that the punter was jostled. This time, Kevin Sumlin is outside the numbers arguing about it. He said, all right, I gave you the first one. I'm not giving you the second one. Let's see what happened. Oh, yeah, he took his legs away from him, drove the blocker right into him that time. Josh Smith does a great job of getting outside with the help of the block that Vern talked to you about. just got his head across the body. Good call, but that one could have been called.
Yeah, and Sumlin is now back on the bench, but he was quickly out to ask why no penalty. It's first down following the Josh Smith return. Kamara goes right. And let's get an update on Malik Foreman. Here's Al.
Vern, Foreman was pointing to the right side of his neck, and he said to the athletic training staff, it hurts right there. They had him hold both of his fists up in the air, and they tried to push down both fists, and he couldn't provide any resistance on the right wrist. So there's something going on with the right side of his body. He keeps adjusting his neck. They did take his helmet away.
All right, thank you, Allie. Second down 5. Here's Dobbs, one-on-one, and he slips the tackle. Jawan Jennings, have you heard that name in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, Vern, just one look at this punt just to settle everybody down. I think this is a good no call. Watch the Tennessee player push his man back into the punter. And it's actually the A&M player that falls into his leg.
It was Derek Barnett who forced that contact and pushed the defender into Trapuka.
You know, if 7-0, Tennessee behind. If I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm still out cutting the grass. I mean, I don't really need to see this. You know? I just come in when I know the game's going to be. It's like watching an NBA game when you do the Tennessee Volunteers this year.
There's a nice run by John Kelly. And just to reiterate, not to belabor the fact, but Jalen Hurd did not make the trip. And so Kamara is going to get most of the action, but Kelly is the backup. This time on first down, it's Kelly again. He's out of the Detroit area. John Kelly, number 4.
It's Sean Washington, isn't it?
Yeah. David his right hip.
Texas A&M. They're first.
Time. And Washington in real pain as he gets to the Aggie huddle. Here's Sean Washington. Time has been called.
You know what happens when you win a lot of games coming from behind the way Tennessee does? You just automatically get mentally tough. And this is a mentally tough football team right now. It's not pixie dust. It's mental toughness.
First down. Dobbs has it. Boy, he can rumble. Look at that cut. Look at him use a teammate. Joshua Dobbs inside the 5.
I think it was Weissman, number 71. I'll tell you, on this play, the defensive end, number 40, Jarrett Johnson, was right there to make the play. He did exactly the way he was taught, but he does not have the speed to make the play. I think A&M is going to have to attack that mesh point. Sitting back and waiting for Josh Dobbs to make a play, you don't have enough speed to stop that guy.
Player down at the 7. It's Dylan Wiseman. We're back. Dylan Wiseman, the starting center for Tennessee, still receiving medical attention.
Yeah, he got stung by Justin Evans, number 14. Come from the left side of your screen. Watch it. One of the big hitters on this team. He was going for Dobbs, but he went right across the head of Wiseman, and you can see he was stunned. And that's a dangerous situation for a football player, and whether he'll play will be up to the medical staff now for Tennessee. He definitely will have to go through the head injury protocol to see if he can get back on the field.
That was Cam Sutton on the crutches. One of the defensive captains, outstanding cornerback.
Vern, I talked about whether they're going to attack. Look at the vision right here. Standing right on the line of scrimmage. He sees the mesh. He's in position, but just one step, he cannot make the play. You got your guy there, but I don't think that you can stand there and make a play.
Coleman Thomas is the new center, number 55. It's first and goal. Out of the spread. And Dobbs up
Watch out.
Direct snap.
Watch out.
Reverse. Jawan Jennings. Touchdown, Tennessee. He threw it to Joshua Dobbs. They have collaborated on that play before.
Yeah. Of course, Jawan Jennings, a high school quarterback, recruited as a quarterback, came in and they said, yeah, we recruited you as a quarterback, but you're so good, we're getting you on the field. And you can see that great play by Mike DeBoard, the offensive coordinator. He said, we're not fooling around. We remember Arkansas having trouble scoring. We're going for it right away.
Aaron Medley with the extra point to tie this. Cuts it inside the upper left upright.
Well, Dobbs fakes as if he's communicating over there. Then he stands, goes out for a pass, and around the end, it's almost like a two-point play that you might save. But when you're behind 7-0 and you want to get points right away, the worst thing Tennessee thought could happen would be a goal line stand. They went for it.
And they have tied it up here in College Station, Texas. Dylan Wiseman still obviously feeling the effects of that hit to his helmet on the bench, and it's time for the kickoff. This will be Aaron Medley. And Speedy Noyle is the deep man along with Jeremy Tabuyo. And this will be Noyle, and it will sail over his head and go for a touchback. Let's check in once again with Allie LaForce.
Vern Wiseman is extremely distraught. He has a towel hanging over his head. When he got back to the sidelines, he could barely make it past the first bench. He had to sit down. He was very emotional. The team even took a light and shined it in his eyes, going through different steps and making sure that he's okay. He did not even look up when Tennessee scored the touchdown. That's how distraught he is right now.
Allie, thank you. From the 25, first down and 10.
Might be some dizziness too.
Yeah.
So I don't know about distraught, but ding, dizzy, and right now trying to find where he's at.
Blitz threatened. Knight. Oh boy. Intended for Josh Reynolds. No good.
That's one of those RPOs that Noel Mazzoni has brought to the offense. You got an offensive line, run pass option. You got 9 guys running a running play, and the quarterback and the receiver are running a pass play. Could not hit Josh Reynolds.
Knight is 4 of 8 throwing the football. They'll keep it on the ground. Oh, big hole. Trayveon Williams. Wow.
I thought he was the speed back. Watch him finish this run. Getting outside, good blocking that time, especially at right tackle, Eleanor, number 72. Getting in there and did not play last week. Came back and got the block there, but watch the finish on this run. He runs right over Mosley.
That's Emmanuel Mosley.
Got to give Mosley credit, though.
You
he
bet.
stayed in there. He might be going out now, but he stayed in there for one play. He stayed in there to make the tackle. A lot of guys shy away from that. He did his job, and now he's sitting it out either with cramps or maybe a bit stunned himself.
Well, the attrition rate for the Volunteers has been serious.
Yeah, that's the big question here. Can the backups, and they're playing good right now, and you know, a game like this, you're going to get nicked a few more. Do they have the depth to finish off this game?
Take another look at the end of the run. The blow delivered by Trayveon Williams.
Yeah, I think he might have got a stinger on his right shoulder there, because it looked to me like he was looking at his right hand and not feeling. He hits him with his right shoulder, and I think that's where he might have gone a bit numb there. You know, I figure, Vern, if I can pick games and I don't know what I'm telling what's the difference, I don't know what's going on. I can figure out who's hurt if I don't know what's going on.
I've noticed that's one of your really admirable traits.
Yes. Well, corners are not expected to take on players like that. They usually like to kind of usher them to the sideline. But now, you know, we have a switch at corner, and we know that Tennessee has had problems with the deep ball going over their head. Will they attack that position?
Balin Buchanan, number 28, a freshman, is at the left cornerback spot. He comes up to play bump and run.
Yeah, remember the Florida game when Florida hit them with deep balls in the first half.
Kirk in motion, play action. They go deep right side to Josh Reynolds. He's down there. They went right at Buchanan.
Yes.
Right at him.
Well, it's not chess, it's checkers. I mean, it's really not that hard. Why do you not go at him? There's a reason this guy is second string. You got one of the great receivers in the SEC in Josh Reynolds, and you got to go at him.
Trayveon Williams. After a 44-yard gain, they keep it on the ground.
You have to give Kevin Sumlin credit. He has rebuilt this football team. They're still wide open, they're still spread, but now they're balanced. Maybe the most balanced team in all of football. They have 192 attempts rushing and 193 attempts passing coming into this game.
That's pretty evenly divided.
And only a difference of 9 yards would make it exactly even in yardage.
Play action, touchdown, Josh Reynolds. That's his second touchdown catch of the year, and the Aggies have reclaimed the lead.
And they went right back at the replacement.
Extra point coming up. Daniel LaCamera. Snap is good from Christian Robertson. There is a flag down. The point is good if, let's see what, again, David Smith is the referee.
I don't think there is a flag down, is there? I don't think I see anything.
There's one on the near side. It was picked up. It was a nice catch by the head linesman. He's the guy who threw it. Turns out he's the guy that caught it. Aggies lead. Evan Berry hammered by Cullen Gillespie, the 12th man.
That'll get it going.
And I think by now you know the legend of the 12th man. The legend of using a 12th man walk-on started here with Jackie Sherrill. He wanted to award a spot on the team to somebody out of the cheering section, yelling section. Sam Miller was the most recent one, and this is Gillespie. Look at that.
Boom. And Gillespie had the fumble recovery a week ago against South Carolina to finish off the game, and he caused another one right there. That ball was out.
Yes. Clifford Chapman, number 22, recovered it.
And here we go again. Third turnover of the game.
Knight pulls it in, goes deep in the end zone. Caught, but there's a flag. Let's see.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure he caught it, but I am sure they're going to call pass interference.
Jeremy Tabuyo, who's the backup at one of the receiver spots.
I thought the ball came out. Here's the end of it right here, bottom of the screen. Let's see if the ball comes out. They call interference. Yes, that's not a completed pass.
1 foot.
Nah, that ball comes out before he gets the other foot. I mean, that's clearly not a caught pass. It's going to be pass interference, 1st and 10.
Pass interference on the defense, number 7. Penalty is 15 yards, automatic first down. The ruling on the field, the ball was incomplete.
That's Rashawn Golden, the nickelback.
Well, one of the problems when we talked to defensive coordinator Bob Shoop, I asked him, what is your biggest worry? And he said the ball going over our corners' heads. And it's happened twice in the game so far.
Emmanuel Mosley is back, the cornerback, number 12.
The crowd's not happy, but they don't have the great replay system here. You know, I've seen better in-house replay systems for them to see.
Oh,
no.
You're going to hear about that.
They got plenty of money here. They'll buy something.
Knight in for the touchdown. 7 yards.
Hey, you got a great running quarterback. What did we say? Which team could keep the other team's quarterback in the pocket? So far, neither team's doing it. These two quarterbacks are explosive.
And now the camera for the extra point. There's Gillespie, named the 12th man just before the regular season started. And the Aggies have gone up 21-7. Let's go back and look at the fumble forced by Gillespie.
Yeah, that was on the kickoff. Remember, they had just gone over the top for a deep ball when the new player Buchanan came in, and then they scored on a pass play, and now they get down there again on pass interference, and this time they allow the quarterback to keep it. That's a tough offense to stop. They have so many options to attack you.
Butch Jones over on the Tennessee sideline saying, men, calm down. We've got them right where we want them. We're down by 14.
They've been here before. I mean,
yes.
In 2015, they lost 4 football games, and they had the lead in all 4 of those games, going 9-4. They were the best first quarter team in football. Now they're the best fourth quarter team in football.
Well, Gillespie is out there. Oh, I wish you. He's yelling at the core. That is a yell leader, and don't you dare call them cheerleaders. There's Gillespie. Kamara is the deep back. Braden Mann will kick off, number 34. He does so, and this is returnable from the goal line, but not for very much.
They got a penalty. Well, if you make a big hit and you're the cheerleader, Vern, usually the other team assigns a couple guys to you.
Yeah.
And here's what happened to him on this one. He got shoved right out of bounds on the play, and they threw the flag at the end of it. I don't know why they threw the flag there. I mean, you're allowed to shove a guy out of bounds, aren't you?
Seems to me.
I mean, he was,
After the play was
doing
over,
a lot of celebrating.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 17 on the receiving team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
I really don't know what happened on that one. It just looked pretty innocent. There's a hand to the face mask. Gillespie has it. He shoves him out. What for?
That's Dylan Bates.
Unless there's something being said that we don't hear, but Jalen Reeves-Maben in the shorts going, what?
Dylan Bates, son of Tennessee and Dallas Cowboy legend Bill Bates and his wife Denise. First down and another flag.
Well, how do you like this if you're Tennessee? You go down and score a touchdown on somewhat of a trick play. They sing Rocky Top. You think you handled it. The next time you come out, it's 21-7.
Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Remember back when we came on the air and said something about a sometimes raucous environment? This is what we had in mind.
Yeah, this is the toughest part when you're in your own end zone.
On the ground, he slipped it. It's Alvin Kamara. He's got a first down. You bet.
He is so good at putting his hand down. On the touchdown last week, he did the same thing. Comes out, watch him put his hand down after this hit and gain another 3 or 4 yards. What a wonderful football player.
That's a gain of 18 and a first down and 10 as we approach the 1 minute mark remaining in the first quarter of play. Here's Dobbs coming left, looking for a block. He gets one, and then he is popped as he gets to the 30-yard line. Jarrett Johnson, number 40. Giving Myles Garrett a rest here with a 14-point lead.
Can Tennessee attack the perceived weakness of A&M? Their corners. So far they have not.
Dobbs.
Here they go.
Jawan Jennings. Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yes.
Priest Willis, who's a transfer from UCLA in his first year at Texas A&M.
If you're looking at the A&M defense this year, the attack point where they're most vulnerable is at corner. They lost both a year ago, and they got young players.
Dobbs cannot shake the tackle.
Tyrell Dotson that time holds on for dear life to make the play. I think they're going to go to the quarter here.
Yep. Well,
what else is new if you're a Volunteer fan, huh?
Butch is angry about something.
I think it was that call on the sideline on the kickoff.
End of the first quarter, 21-7. We'll return to College Station after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back to Kyle Field, the beginning of the second quarter, 21-7. Aggies lead. Look at this fumbling issue. 15 fumbles in the first 5 games. They've lost 3 today.
Yeah, you knew that stat had to turn. It was impossible to keep up that ratio all year.
Dobbs flips it into the flat. It's caught by Kamara. There he goes.
Does it all the time.
And so they quickly pick up the first down on the effort from Alvin Kamara. Well, Gary, obviously the fumbling is a major issue. What else has caught your attention?
I think also what we talked about, can Tennessee's reserve players stand up? They had another injury. You bring in a young player, and A&M went right at it. Let's see if Tennessee can solve the leaks. Right now they got a few leaks. Turnovers and backup players.
They'll test the middle in between the tackles, and they get inside the 40-yard line. John Kelly was the ball carrier. And again, not to belabor it, but Jalen Hurd did not make the trip. Kamara is getting the majority of the action in the backfield.
Yeah, I would figure he'd get about 75% of the plays.
This is Kelly. Well, Hurricane Matthew has moved up the coast. It started in Florida. And the SEC games affected by Matthew, Georgia at South Carolina in Columbia. That game was postponed until Sunday. LSU at Florida was postponed fairly early this week. And we're going to have Commissioner Greg Sankey on the phone with us to discuss what the status is currently of the LSU-Florida game. Here's Dobbs, too high. I wonder if that was deflected. Jason Kroom was the intended receiver.
Well, I think he had to go over a pretty tall player there. D.D. Hall, number 10, is about 6'5". He gets up, high school basketball player, and forces the ball to be an overthrow.
Yep. Deshaun Hall, one of the 2 brilliant defensive ends. It's 4th and 2, and they will go for it, trailing.
Well, now if you're A&M, you must account for the quarterback. Whatever you're doing, you got to know. Don't know what's going to happen, but you have to account for number 11.
Dobbs forced right. Throws it at the last second, and it's incomplete. Deshaun Hall again with the pressure on Joshua Dobbs.
You can't blame Josh Dobbs here. He was getting run out so fast that he could not see a reverse by Josh Malone here and being wide open for a touchdown. No way he could see it. He was being chased by some athletes. But if there was just a half a second less rush there, would have been a touchdown.
Time called on the change of possession. 21-7 Aggies lead. We've mentioned the fact that Florida LSU was postponed. Our pleasure now to welcome in by phone from Birmingham the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey. Greg, could you just give us at this moment what the status of that game is?
Sure. First, let me send my thoughts and prayers to all the people affected by this storm. It's been a difficult week, obviously, as we celebrate football. The press release we issued on Thursday, Vern, after a long day and a lot of changes in forecasts and a lot of movement, was that the LSU-Florida game would be indefinitely postponed. We did acknowledge that we will seek another opportunity to play that game. That's difficult. I said that on a conference call as we are nearing a destination point, but it's important to play that game.
Commissioner, my first question is, do you believe that no matter what, for the integrity of the championship for this league, that game has to be played one way or another?
Well, the game needs to be played, Gary, and we need to work together to find a way to do that. This conference often describes itself as a family. A family has points of tension. I certainly understand the angst and frustration. I have my own level of angst, but we need to come together to play a football game and find the best way to do that now.
I think some of the confusion, Mr. Commissioner, is that a game in Florida, in Miami, was played, and a game in our conference was played just north of it. How come, and it seemed cooperation was there, how come Florida and LSU, with the commissioner's help, couldn't get this game played this weekend?
Well, each of those is their own unique set of circumstances, and there is a point at which you need to make some decisions. And Thursday afternoon, that storm was strengthening. It was passing north of Miami by projections, yet Gainesville was well inside the hurricane zone. Emergency personnel were being pulled away that could stop that football game. We have to remember that security issues and demands are very different today than they were a year ago. We didn't know how players' families would be impacted. We're starting to see some of those stories. The university closed earlier than thought and remain closed, or will remain closed through the day, Sunday, not until Monday morning, as they continue to evaluate. And you had a bunch of evacuees that were moving from the coast into the Gainesville area. A number of those things are different than what we saw in Georgia, South Carolina, where there was bus travel involved. We could secure space for the team to stay without displacing evacuees. Local emergency personnel were still available to staff the game, and we have to understand those differences.
Sure. Mr. Commissioner, what are the options now for you that you're considering to play this LSU-Florida game, and when will that decision be made? Will it hang, or will it be made rather quickly?
We spent Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and if you will, crisis management. Yesterday was whiteboard day 1, whiteboard day 2, looking at all the options. There are a number of people who have their own options. We want to make sure we evaluate everything. I would like to move this along as efficiently as possible, Gary, but I'd be careful not to put a point in time where we can provide a definitive answer, because there are a number of issues that have to be considered.
Right.
But my desire is to see us play that game.
Yeah. Commissioner, you've, part of the hallmark of your tenure as commissioner has been an advocate for the safety of the players. If it's moved to the 19th, which has been a rumored date available, that would mean LSU has to play 3 road games, a Thursday night game, and those players would have to play SEC games on the road. I worry about the safety of those players playing those games, 3 games in 12 days.
Well, and I want to be careful because there are a number of options, so it doesn't narrow to just one, and a number of factors to consider, Gary.
Both sides have advocates. You know, both sides are going to argue. You're going to have Florida making arguments, LSU making arguments. Do you have the final authority to make a decision on this game?
Well, we need to come together, Gary. That's a reality. We need to come together, and I am in a position to lead that effort. But we all have responsibility because this affects the entire conference.
Commissioner Greg Sankey, our thanks for clarifying what you could clarify for us relative to the postponement of LSU and Florida. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Gary.
Yep.
And on 1st down and 10, we're back to play. Trayveon Williams. It's still 21-7. 2nd down coming up.
How would you like to have that job in between those two fan bases? And, you know, it affects everybody else, right?
Sure.
I mean, you know, we talked to both coaches, head coaches of these teams, and they both wanted to see this game played between Florida and LSU.
Trayveon Williams, and he breaks through for another 1st down.
Yeah,
Colton
I think
Jumper.
I think Knight kept that one. He's
he
good,
did. I'm sorry.
Good ball handler and good fake, and that's actually the job of this Tennessee defense, of being able to handle all the fakes and motions.
3rd down. Third down, 3.
They're back in that bear look. They've covered the guys inside, one-on-one to the outside.
Knight near side overthrows Speedy Noyle. It was Derek Barnett with the pressure.
One-on-one with that bear look. But, you know, Vern, you talk about not knowing exactly who has the ball. Well, this is the reason why. Look at all the options. First option, Kirk. Second option, the running back. Third option, the quarterback. He could throw it downfield to the wide receivers, or, look at this, he could flip it back to Kirk. 5 different options the defense has, and Vern Lundquist has to be ready for on every play.
Well, at a certain point, I get deceived. You may have noticed that. Here's a fair fumble. Another fumble. This time Kamara gets back.
And again, a veteran player, didn't panic, relaxed. He bobbled the ball and jumped right back on it. Josh Reynolds kind of got in his eyesight, but his own 10-yard line, no panic, just make the play.
CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC will continue after this message and a word from your local station. All right, thank you. 21-7 here moments ago. Trevor Knight.
Yeah, Derek Barnett was one-on-one to the outside, and he makes a hit, and it looks like he caught Trevor Knight with his left wrist on the tackle, flexing it on. That's better than the right wrist. Trevor's a pretty tough guy.
Hand off. Alvin Kamara. Let's see if Allie can add to that. Allie?
Hey, Vern, Gary, you're right. It is his left wrist. It is bothering him. He has been playing around with it on the sidelines. The medical staff did look at it for about 30 seconds or so. They decided it was nothing serious, but something to look out for sure.
2nd down 10. No gain on the last play.
Tough old Texan there.
Yeah.
Right?
Out of San Antonio. Into the flat. Josh Smith.
It's just, I mean, it's just night and day. Coming up, Justin Evans again, number 14. We were here a couple years ago when Armani Watts and Justin Evans, young football players, they really had to take Armani Watts out of the game. He had lost confidence not being able to make tackles. But now you could make the argument that that safety group between Wilson, Watts, and Evans, WWE, might be as good as anyone. Flag down on the field right there, right? We're discussing something. They always do, though.
There is a flag.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 15 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Oh, my goodness.
Myles Garrett's got his hands up going, what? Did they mean 15 on the offense? That's Juwan Jen.
Yeah,
they got the wrong team. It's the other way, 15 offense.
Duck number 15 on the offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
It was so, Myles Garrett,
That
if
is
we
number
got a
15's
shot,
first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
if we got a shot of Myles Garrett, he puts up his hands and go, the sheepish look going, I didn't do anything. How could I get a penalty? But they got it corrected.
Indeed. Now hold everything. All right.
Last time, Vern, in 3rd and long, they went with a screen pass. They do not want to make a mistake down here.
3rd down and 14.
Quarterback draw.
Yeah, Joshua Dobbs shakes the tackle, and he can't get, oh my goodness, down at the 10. Zakoven Henderson, number 92.
Well, Tennessee, with the fumbles and the penalties and the injuries, that's been the story of this game. And you can see Nat Moore's got to hold, and just enough to slow him down.
Trevor Daniel is on to punt on 4th down and 10. Christian Kirk. You know, the Aggies should come out of this with, barring something unforeseen, really positive field position.
And he's dangerous, Kirk. Back here, you have to stay an extra second.
Pressure?
Great.
Kirk, oh, it was. And Kirk says, I'm going to let it bounce, which it does.
So you can make an argument that Trevor Daniel, the punter for Tennessee, has been a weapon the last 3 games we've seen him.
That was a 55-yard punt without a return. Time call. Oh, there will be, as Ron Zook famously said about Florida once, more noise in the system around Austin. 1st down. The commissioner spent some time with it. Yeah, what did we learn?
Well, Vern,
he's got some challenge.
I was ready. If I had 5 more minutes, I was going to go Perry Mason on him. I'm telling you. I think I had him, but we had to leave. I thought he beat us. I tell you the truth, I thought he beat us.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that. Well, it is very controversial. Here's Knight. Trevor Knight out of bounds at.
I thought the key phrase from the commissioner was him acknowledging tension.
Yep.
And then he said, we need to come together. And that means, I think, Florida and LSU need to kind of set aside their advocation here, think of the conference, and figure this out for everyone.
Here's David Smith.
Send your letters to Vern, by the way.
Thank you very much.
That's 5-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
I think as Kevin Sumlin looks out on the field and all of the nightmares he had this offseason with quarterbacks leaving, assistant coaches getting suspended, his move to bring in Trevor Knight might be the best acquisition the SEC Conference had this year.
And another flag. Well, you think back about how all that evolved. Trevor Knight lost his position to Baker Mayfield, decided to use the exemption and use that graduate transfer rule. Here's Dave Smith once more.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was the ball crossed the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there was an ineligible downfield.
What? He must have been more than 3 yards downfield then. He threw it late, and if the judgment will be if the new rule this year, if the offensive lineman is more than 3 yards downfield, it can be called. So that would have been a kind of a big mistake for Trevor Knight. He could have just slid or gone out of bounds. So he looked like he crossed the line of scrimmage and then went backwards, and he would not be able to throw that ball. The blue line is the line of scrimmage, and yes, that would be an illegal forward pass.
Well, while they look at that.
So I wasn't even close. The truck had to help.
I would not have pointed that out.
Hey, you got to guess up here sometimes.
You don't need to tell me that. First down, and they are reviewing this. And well, the conversation, the replay official here, by the way, is Steve Landis.
After further review, the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. Therefore, that was an illegal forward pass, number 8 on the offense. Penalty is 5 yards from that spot, includes a loss of down. It will be second down from the 31-yard line.
Well, prior to the postponement or cancellation of the LSU-Florida game, these were the respective schedules in November.
And that's why everybody has circled the 19th. And if it comes back, you can see right here, this at, that could produce a lot of tension. 3 games in 12 days for the West Side, and there's so many different variables about winning percentage. And I tell you what, A&M would love to have LSU play a game at Florida and come back and play them on a Thursday night.
Knight still has it, rounds the corner, and is bumped out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Well, I think back to the conversation with Greg Sankey, and again, we're appreciative of him willing to go on the air with us. He said not only is there a lot of angst in the conference, he has a lot of angst about
Of course.
this.
But, I mean, he had to, early in the week, side on the side of safety for not only players, their families, and that Florida area.
Third down and 11. Knight got it. Frank Henicho, who is playing today in place of the injured Ricky Seals-Jones. That's a gain of 24.
A back shoulder throw in the middle of the field. What will the world come to next?
This is Christian Kirk.
Yeah, this defense is really getting stressed for Tennessee right now. This is an important stop here. You know, I think, Tennessee, they came back from 21 down with Florida, but Florida had a backup quarterback and it was on the road. Can they do it again? They're really playing with fire if they can't get a stop here on this drive, it seems to me.
It's second down and 6.
And A&M has them completely off balance. They have no idea where it's coming from.
Kirk in motion. Keith Ford.
Vereen and Barnett. They meet and then they give each other a high five afterwards. And this is how a lot of people are attacking the plays now. They're attacking the mesh point. Go, and go get the guy. Don't stand around and watch what's going to end. Thank you. Meet you at either the quarterback or the running back.
Right. And that was former Oklahoma to former Oklahoma. Kirk again in motion, going into the slot on the right side. On third down, here's Knight. Dropped by Speedy Noyle. Whoa.
Perped it.
Yep.
And I just wonder if this is 4-down territory here right now.
Apparently not.
Boy, that ball got on Noyle so fast. Another former high school quarterback. He struggled. He had a suspension the first game of the year, struggled with injury, did not play last week. And you can see he looks rusty. He was not ready for that one.
So Trapuka, he sends it high, and it will bounce. Oh, was he in the end zone or no?
It's the ball. It's the ball. It's not the player.
Yes.
I think Josh Reynolds was on the line, but it doesn't matter. It's where the ball was stopped. Oh, it's close. It's close. It got into his body. He did not do it with his hand. We only got one look, and it was behind his body there.
Timeout.
All right, one look here. We're going to blow this up for you the best we can. Remember, Reynolds is in the end zone here when the ball hits him in the chest. Now let's put that again with the other picture. and see if we get any conclusion. Now remember, the guy right there is calling the play. I mean, he's right on the line. I think they will say that this play stands, that there's not enough to overrule it. The language would be stands, means there's nothing there that they can overrule, in my opinion. Unless our producer shows us something new.
There's the challenge. And here's... Wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to stand, meaning they do not have anything conclusive to overturn it.
Well, Dave Smith is chatting with Steve Landis right now. The ball was ruled.
I mean, if you know, that's the guy right there.
Right. Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball did not cross the goal line.
I'm telling you, Art, I got a future there.
You know what? You really, really do.
Do you have to know all the rules? Because I don't want to know all the rules.
Well, you know, you could be an ophthalmologist with that eyesight.
Exactly. Right, there we go. And one of these machines.
Yeah, well, that is helpful.
Well, with the amount of time here right now, what do you do if you're Mike DeBoard? Do you try to run it out, or do you allow Josh Dobbs with some play action to get on the corner?
They keep it down. It's John Kelly, and he doesn't get much at all.
See, this is where I think you really miss Jalen Hurd. You know, Alvin Kamara cannot play every series. You know, what would Jalen Hurd done on that play? And that's what I'm saying. It adds up, the attrition. One of the reasons why I think the LSU-Florida game has to be played. Attrition during the season counts. It's part of going through the 8-game schedule.
To Gary's point, Jalen Hurd, 6'4", 240. And here's Kelly.
Oh, nice run.
Yes, it was. I think they'll move the chain on that.
Absolutely. Well, this could be a huge first down for Tennessee. Getting out from under their own end zone. They ran the ball right between the tackles.
Josh Malone breaks the huddle, goes wide to the left. Preston Williams is to the right side. Dobbs goes deep. He's got a man there. And he drops it. Or it was stripped. I'm not sure which. It was Josh Malone.
Well, I'll tell you, Jason Groom, number 18, is going, I had an easy throw for you right across the middle of the field. No one covered me. I have an easy catch for you. And he went to the tougher throw, made it a 50-50 ball, and that time A&M won the 50-50 ball.
It was Priest Willis who knocked it loose. 2nd down and 10. Kamara's back on the field. And the turnovers for Tennessee. That one.
Yeah, it was Myles Garrett early.
Yep.
Armani Watts out to the big 55-yard run. And then the 12th man forced the fumble on the kickoff.
3rd down, 8. Tennessee yet to convert a 3rd down. They are 0 for 5. 3 men down for the Aggies. That one, I don't know. No possession. It was intended for Ethan Wolf. Knocked loose by Otaro Alaka.
And watch Myles Garrett. He goes up and then inside to get in the throwing lane. Up, spins inside. Look at that. You knew, Josh Dobbs knew that guy was going to be 1/10. He had to throw it a little before he wanted to, and that's affecting the quarterback.
And that brings Trevor Daniel on to punt for the 3rd time. Christian Kirk is deep. He's at the 37-yard line. And a fair catch called for, taken by Kirk at the 35. 49-yard punt, nothing on the return again, and A reminder that at halftime, we'll go back to New York with Adam, Rick, Bryant for the Geico halftime report. Scores and highlights all through the college football land.
You know, Vern, Nick Saban has gotten a lot of credit for being willing to change and adjust. But look what Kevin Sumlin has done. He went out, knew his defense needed help, got John Chavis 2 years ago. This year he knew he needed to run the ball better. He got Noel Mazzoni to run his offense and be more balanced. Great decision making by Kevin Sumlin.
First down, and Trayveon Williams is tripped just behind the line.
And we talked about it in the open. 3 straight years, 5-0, but they could not finish. It is a little different this year, though, because of their front-loaded schedule. They are the only team in the AP Top 25 with 4 victories over Power 5 conference schools. So they've, you know, this hasn't been a patsy schedule here. They've built it on. They've played good football teams, and they've won.
Nothing doing on that play. It's Trayveon Williams.
You know, and the other thing that stands out to me as I watch this is both of these coaching staffs, Butch Jones and Kevin Sumlin, came into this league with the hurry up, no huddle. They barely do it now. I mean, it's part of their attack. They're now, I'll tell you, for A&M, they're a spread power team. They're playing old style football from the spread. Tennessee, they feature it, but it's basically running between the tackles with the big backs as well. The wild card, the running quarterback.
Empty backfield here as Williams goes out wide to the right side. And there's the pass deep, and it hits the defender in the back. It was intended for Josh Reynolds, and who was deep?
Yep, Derek
Barnett.
Yep.
Oh, my.
Yep, and he went exactly where he should have gone with the ball. He had a great matchup. The ball was not thrown well. When A&M shifted out, Derek Barnett shifted out, and he had to run down the field with the SEC receiver leading the league in yards per reception. Tough assignment.
Kind of. Here's Trapuka.
He was in trouble, though, with a good throw.
Yeah, you're right. And Camara comes to the near side. There's a flag. This one, I think, is going to come back. Camara still rumbling as he gets to the 45-yard line, but there's a piece of yellow back at the 15.
You know who it was against?
Well, I see who's down there.
The 12th man again.
12th man, Gillespie.
I don't know what it was, though. I thought it was a clean hit, to tell you the truth. I thought it was a clean. Might have been targeting is what it could have been. A defenseless player coming back and hitting him that time. Nigel Warrior, number 18. That might be the call.
Personal foul, targeting, number 18 on the receiving team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, on a peel back block. That's hard to say. Peel back block. A hit to the head will be called and should be called. I've always been an advocate that that's a play that needs to be cleaned up in college or pro football. It's not necessary. You could shield him and still release your player to get the gain.
Well, it's in the hands of the review official, Steve Landis.
And it's going to be, I think he's going to be out of the game.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Now, Gillespie is enjoying the moment, to say the least. Oh, boy, from that angle.
Defenseless player on a peel back block, they're going to call it, and they should call it.
The infraction occurred at the 15. Now the crowd is singing "Hey, hey, goodbye" to Warrior. Here's the call.
After further review, the ruling of targeting is confirmed. Number 18 is disqualified. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. First down, Tennessee.
Boy, he's something.
He is, isn't he? He's into it. Well, that wipes out a 42-yard return by Kamara.
He can play Thor in a movie coming up, to tell you the truth, right? Look at him. He knows the camera's on him, too. Well, again.
Here's the other side of the story.
Turnovers, penalties. It has been a rough first half for Tennessee. They've moved the ball when they've done it right on their side. I mean, Tennessee has 228 yards in this game.
Well, he is walking toward the Tennessee fans.
Yeah, he might be trying to fire the team up, but he should know that was an easy call.
Yeah. Dobbs to the 12. Deshaun Hall makes the tackle, number 10.
Evans was... Justin Evans is playing a deep safety. He's 20 yards at there, and then he backs up further. At the snap, he was nearly 30 yards deep.
John Kelly, he's been effective.
Yes, he has. And he ran through the tackle of Justin Evans on that one, maybe the hardest hitter on this A&M team.
That's a gain of 17. Coming into this encounter, Kelly had carried it only 3 times for 18 yards. He's still fighting out to the 32-yard line, 2:45 to go.
I will say it does appear that the Tennessee wide receivers, at least, are trying to bring more to the game, a little more physicalness to the football game. I'm watching Tyler Bird, I'm watching Jawan Jennings. They're getting active downfield.
Coleman Thomas.
There's movement that time.
Yep, is the center. I was going to say Dylan Wiseman out.
Well, you're going to get to say him again because I think he was the guy that moved.
False start, number 75 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
75-55.
Yep. When we talked to the staff, they felt that Jason Robinson, number 75, played his best game maybe last week. Oh, you can see it. The head bob by the center pulled off the left guard.
Second down, 12. That's the 7th penalty against Tennessee in the ballgame.
And he only had 2 last week versus Georgia.
Sweep. Tyler Bird. Young man out to the 35-yard line, and Jarrett Johnson, number 40, made the tackle.
Well, Evan Kamara does so much for this team, and this time he's asked to block right side of your screen. Does a good job creating a lane.
Tennessee has all 3 timeouts left. It's 3rd and 4 here. Dropped. Well, there was some help. Josh Malone couldn't hang on.
Well,
Priest Willis again.
Sooner or later, Tennessee's going to have to go deep on these defensive backs. There's no job. Priest Willis was playing the sticks. He knew it was 3rd and 3, and he wasn't backing up. He was playing the first down line. Tennessee has not thrown, as I remember. I'm trying to recall, remember a deep throw in this game?
I don't think so.
Because the squatting defensive backs for A&M now are jumping on everything, especially 3rd down.
Here's Trevor Daniel, and a fair catch called again.
Yeah, not a good one.
No, it's not at all.
Dragged on him. This is going to put pressure on this Tennessee defense now. Great field position with 1:19 to go.
Aggies have 2 timeouts remaining. Monday on CBS. TV's #1 comedy really shakes things up with some crazy big news.
You got any idea what that might be?
No, I don't know. This is one new episode you can't miss.
I think you're taping it, aren't you? You're waiting.
But of course.
Do you want me to ruin it for you or not?
Oh no, go ahead. That's Monday at 8/7/8. Oh, I'm going to hear from George Schweitzer.
Yeah, it's on your VCR.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course it is. No, was
another tough throw. He's not the prettiest thrower. We do know that. You know, I mean, he does a lot of good things. I have to say, Alabama fans may argue with that because he had that great bowl game against them when he was absolutely on fire, but he misses a lot of easy throws. They are now a running team, deep ball, play action throwing team. That's what they are. They lead the SEC in running, 269 yards a game.
Comes the run.
There's the deep ball.
And there he is. Josh Reynolds.
That's what they are. Those are easier to throw for an inaccurate quarterback than the short passes. Did he go out of bounds?
No, there's a flag back to 35.
Yes, there is.
And
you
here,
see the route. Perfect.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 70 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
How could that have been? That was thrown so quickly. What could have happened? Let's take a peek here. They're allowed to go 3 yards downfield. And the ball, remember, he threw it as fast as he could. It was one of those RPOs again. Yep, he was 4 yards.
Sure was.
Yep, and that's one of those run-pass options where the quarterback and the receiver have the ability to throw it. Hesitated just a second, and that time the right guard, Lanphier, not his fault. He did not make a mistake. He was doing what he was taught to do.
That's Connor Lanphier, the right guard, number 70, and that wipes out a 45-yard gain. Here's Knight. Slips the tackle. And gets out of bounds after 36, well, I'll make it the 35-yard line.
Both of these quarterbacks, when you're rushing them, you better bring it because both are big, both are strong, and they're extremely fast.
Micah Abernathy, number 22, was the man who forced him out.
No, plenty of time. A&M substituted, so the officials did a great job at allowing Tennessee to substitute. Tennessee panicked a little bit, not trying to get any information, but the officials handled it beautifully.
Time called, Tennessee. After the timeout called by Tennessee, it's 21-7 with 36 seconds to go.
Yeah, I think if you're calling plays here for A&M, you have to be cognizant of that Trevor Knight is not, Ryan Tannehill. Okay, I was going to say Peyton Manning, but that wouldn't work. So I tried.
Who was here, by the way?
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't make a brutal mistake here at the end of the half from a quarterback that's not built to be a pocket passer.
I get your point. Here's Knight. Yep. Goes deep. Can't hang on. That was Jeremy Tabuyo, number 19.
Yeah, he's in the slot. Tabuyo made a huge one-handed catch a week ago, but couldn't come up with that one. So that's a safe throw. You don't even mind if something bad happens. Just lob it up there, let it go, and let your receiver adjust to it.
So Trapuka is on to punt for the 6th time. Terrific average so far, 46.4. And he looks for a call again, and there's nothing.
No. He's not going to get it. I think David Smith used to watch Kelly Trapuka play basketball, and he just doesn't trust him. I'm telling you that right now.
Or he watched his grandfather, Frank Trapuka, play for the original Denver Broncos in the old AFL.
You know, you can call for these penalties, but you try to fake it one time. You know, not going to happen. I like Kelly Trapuka. I just want to say he used to always like.
You're accusing him of flopping.
He was good at it though. I was really good at it. 25 seconds to go. Can they get in field goal range?
2 timeouts left.
Of course. What am I talking about? For Tennessee, I mean anything can happen. 10 right. Seconds they did all that.
Well, 4th time in 5 games that they've been down by double digits. Screen pass. It's Kamara. Oh, boy. over the top. Claude George, number 31, made the tackle.
They're going to let the half go with 2 timeouts. Remember, and I'm telling you, Juwan Jennings was not happy. I mean, he's looking over at Butch Jones and going, we scored with 10 seconds to go. He is a battler, and he was not happy that they did not try to score. Well, Butch Jones has pulled out halftime adjustments so far this year. Can he do it again? They get the second half kickoff.
And they trail by 14. Now it's time for Inside Access, presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the SEC. Here's Allie with Kevin Sumlin.
Coach, you head into the half with a 2-touchdown lead, but Tennessee has matched you yard for yard. How have you prevented them from turning those yards into scores?
Turnovers. We've created turnovers and been able to take advantage of them. We just got to be more consistent offensively, keep playing defense, and this team. We don't want to be lucky for the 5th time, so we got to keep playing the rest of this game.
Coach, you had a lot of things go your way in that first half. You were scoring, your defense was forcing turnovers, like you said. What will be your focus at the half with this team?
Keep playing the same way, and then get some rhythm and some consistency offensively, and play the last whistle is blown. So we got to do that against this team.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
I guess he watched the game tapes too.
Yes, I think so. And the Aggies are up 21-7. That's the end of the first half. Now let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio. All right.
That's Kirk as an angle on a man 5. Touchdown!
Joshua Dobbs inside the 5.
From Juwan Jennings to Josh Dobbs.
Did A&M get it? Yes, they did. Got it that time. Touchdown.
Halftime at Kyle Field in College Station, the home of the 12th man, with the Aggies up 21-7. Moments ago, Allie LaForce spoke with Tennessee head coach Butch Jones.
Coach, we've talked about this at the half each week. 3 fumbles, 7 penalties. How can you help yourself more in the second half?
Oh, you just said it, self-inflicted wounds, and it gets back to playing disciplined football and taking care of the football first and foremost. You can't go on the road and turn the football over or have the penalties like we had in the first half.
I asked you about the pixie dust before the game. Is there any of that left?
We'll see.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Allie. We'll see, indeed. They will get the football to open the 3rd quarter.
And you have to believe that they believe, right? I mean, if you're a Tennessee football player, you have to believe you can come back.
Well, that's because they have come back in 4 of their 5 victories. 21-7, but have you seen any evidence that they can do it this time?
Yes, they gained a lot of yards in the first half. They gained over 250 yards on offense. Their problem has been twofold. Obviously, what Allie brought up, 0 for 7 on 3rd down, okay? And they no big plays. The 155-yard screen pass ended up in a turnover. After that, they had a 16-yard pass and an 11-yard pass. It's hard to drive the ball all the way down the field over and over. They have to find a couple of big plays.
Out of the spread, Joshua Dobbs. Across the middle and incomplete. How about first half trends, Mr. Daniels?
Well, both quarterbacks, we set them up. They're, both of them are not pocket passers. And you can see from the stats, they're not going to be a 70% thrower. But, as Allie brought up with Butch, on the road, you can't play like this.
Here's a run. It's positive. Alvin Kamara.
I'll tell you, Tennessee has been effective running the ball between the tackles. They've done a nice job in this game. I was surprised. I did not know they could actually do that. Without Jalen Hurd, their offensive line has done a nice job. They fit well, good fit, get to the 2nd level, and Kamara makes first down.
On a gain of 15, a first down 10 at the 40. This time, not so much. It's Alvin Kamara again. Last week, the miracle finish against Georgia.
Interesting, no Myles Garrett in on the first series here. I wonder if that ankle is not 100%.
Sean Washington is back in, number 33. And it appears they've got Deshaun Hall. Nope, Jarrett Johnson. Dobbs can't escape. It was Jarrett Johnson who completed the effort. Number 40, the first guy there, might have been Jacobin Henderson.
And it looks, as you can see, they're going to run a kind of a cross stunt here and get into the sack position, and Dobbs almost ran out of it, but not there.
Third and 10.
And they bring in Garrett on third down. Looks like they're saving him for these third down plays.
Again, playing on an ankle he injured 2 weeks ago. Did not play last week. Here's Dobbs with time. Caught. A big play. Josh Malone inside the 35.
Well, they assigned a tight end. They put a tight end there, then a tackle and a running back. 3 people to make sure Garrett didn't get there, and it paid off. A great throw by Josh Dobbs, his best of the game.
Gain of 27 and a first down at the 33. Dobbs fumbles. It's loose. And it's recovered by Deshaun Hall. Another Tennessee turnover.
Well, remember, it's a new running back. Josh Dobbs has played a lot of football with Jalen Hurd. And now he's got Kelly in the game. Felt a little different. Did not get the mesh the right way. When you're handling that ball in this offense, when you're reading a lot of guys, sometimes having a new running back in there can cause that. Disaster.
And a turnover with 13:05 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, and you know, also, Vern, it looked like Dobbs could have fell on it. He tried to pick it up there. It really cost him.
To the left goes Trayveon Williams. That's his 13th carry of the ball game.
He's played so much football with Kamara and Hurd. You know, sometimes it isn't surprising. Got a different back in there, a different feel. It just didn't happen.
Second down, 7. Play action. Knight is chased and throws it away. Fortunate that he was capable of doing that. Corey Vereen was draped all over it.
Yeah, and his roommate, Tanner Sharp, that time, number 86, did not help him. Blocking on the end man on the line of scrimmage. He did not get the block, and Knight had to throw it away.
Third down, 7.
By the way, both of the corners for Tennessee are on the game. In the game, Mosley and Foreman.
Blitz, they were both injured in the first half. Down the far side. There's a bump and run, and there are 2 flags thrown. This is going to go against Tennessee.
Malik Foreman, yes, that's who it was. Malik Foreman, he's grabbed him by the jersey. God, that's just undisciplined football. You know, Malik Foreman was the guy who was burned. He was undisciplined at the end of that Georgia game. It almost cost him a game. Remember, he slowed
Pass interference
down.
on the defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And that's just, I gotta say, that's just lazy football. Undisciplined, lazy football. You can't grab a guy by his jersey like that.
And so a first down 10 for the Aggies at the 43. Play action. Complete over on the near side to Christian Kirk, number 3. And they will go with a fast-paced offense.
I try to. I always get nervous about these.
Well,
penalty flag, legal procedure.
Yeah. False start.
False start on the offense. Not all 11 players were set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
We should put the. You know, that's a self-inflicted wound trying to go fast. They lose 5 yards. Hey, A&M keeps this Tennessee football team in the game.
You're right. 21-7, early moments, third quarter. Up the middle, oh, brother. Trayveon Williams.
Well, Vern brought up the fact of the hurry-up offense. How many times did A&M do it? They had 41 plays. First play of possession or stoppage or substitution, they're down to 14 plays. On 10 of them, they decided not to go fast. They only did it 4 times and not that effectively.
3rd and 7, man wide open. It's Speedy Noyle down the sidelines, and his balance pushed him out of bounds. But another big play for the Aggies.
Boy, you talk about a bust in the secondary that time. I have no idea. What number 13, Malik Foreman, was doing on that one.
And it's a first down. Again, the fast-paced offense. Here's Christian Kirk. He's inside the 10. (21-7). We've played 4 minutes.
Much as the previous play, the deep throw. Look at Tennessee. Total bust. One man playing one defense, 10 other guys playing another defense.
2nd down, 5. Up the middle. Touchdown, Texas A&M. Trayveon Williams at 7 yards, and it's 27-7.
Well, this was a meltdown for Tennessee. Remember, they had the fumble, then they had the grabbing the jersey penalty, then they had the busted coverage. They practically gave A&M 7 points on this drive.
LaCamera with the extra point, perfect. Let's go back to the fumble.
And this drive started out okay. Remember, Tennessee's moving the ball between the tackles. Josh Dobbs attempts to pick it up. It gets bounced out. Another turnover. The deep pass following a penalty. A complete breakdown in the Tennessee secondary. And then cutting behind the backside guard, the freshman, Colton Prater. What a nice read. A&M now is opening it up. 21 points.
4 fumbles lost today, most in 19 years.
Well, and they were almost, tempting fate with as many at times as Tennessee had fumbled the ball earlier in the year, and they were getting them all. Sooner or later, that evens up.
Here's Braden Mann with the kickoff. Yep. And this one will be returned. Evan Berry. Not much there. Cullen Gillespie, the 12th man again. And I expect he's going to celebrate a little bit just based on previous efforts. He's not a shy guy. Neither is the Duck, as a matter of fact. So it's time to cue the Duck and get him on stage for the Aflac trivia question. In their first meeting, Tennessee defeated Texas A&M 3-0 in the 1957 Gator Bowl. Who were the Hall of Fame head coaches in that game? Camara with the sweep, popped. Doesn't get much. Otaro Alaka, the middle linebacker, number 42.
Yeah, and I think that maybe is the biggest growth of this football team from what I saw it a year ago. They were young, they were small, and there were even wide receivers playing a linebacker. Now they have SEC linebackers in there. Alaka's healthy. Washington has grown up.
Well, they're resting Myles Garrett again. Jared Johnson's in his spot. Here's Dobbs. over the back, and he looks around for flags, and there are none.
Again, the corners for A&M have no respect for the deep ball. Every throw is a tough throw to the outside. Sooner or later, you got to go deep. A&M is just squatting on everything. Look how tight that coverage is. You got to give your receivers a 50-50 ball deep and see if they can make a play.
Tennessee is 1 of 8 on third down conversions. Dobbs under pressure. Guess who? It was Myles Garrett, but the man gets loose. It's Kelly out of the backfield.
Yep, screen pass again. It worked earlier for 55 yards. And on long yardage again, this time it's Kelly. A clear run at the quarterback by Alaka, and Dobbs gets it off, and they get a first down. See if Tennessee can finally put a drive together here.
Garrett took the inside position, and Alaka got there. But a gain of 12. First down, 10. Quarterback draw. Bounce to the outside. Avoids the first 2 tacklers.
He's something, isn't he?
Isn't he, though?
He really is. He's almost demoralizing to an offense. You think you got him 2 or 3 times. When he gets on his game and it starts clicking, and it hasn't been the offense being able to gain yards, it's been turning the ball over on offense. They've got over 300 yards in this game.
On 2nd and 6, Dobbs across the middle, runs into the umpire. It's Jason Kroom, the backup tight end.
A little short stop right over the middle of the field, throws it to him, and then busted tackles. You said Donovan Wilson that time, number 6, was going for a steal. You got to wrap up first and then take the ball. Cost his team about an extra 10 yards.
First down, 10. Kelly. Ninth carry. Excuse me, Gary.
Go ahead. One of the amazing things about this A&M defense this year in modern football and the great receivers they play week in and week out, this A&M defense has only given up 2 touchdowns of more than 15 yards in length.
Dobbs still has it. And he's tackled short of the first down yardage. Sean Washington, number 33.
Well, if you're Mike DeBoard right now, I got to believe you're calling plays thinking you got 2 plays to get this.
Yeah.
That's Bob Shoop right there in the ball hat, and there's Mike DeBoard behind him. Oh, thanks, Bob. Getting out of the way exactly on to cue there.
Third down, 5. Blitz. Dobbs. Caught. It's Jawan Jennings, and he's down to the 15-yard line.
5-man rush this time. Quick pass. The rush had no chance to get to it, and that time they got the ball to their best receiver against maybe the weakest part of the A&M defense, their corner, Nick Harvey.
From the 15 on first down, up the middle. Alvin Kamara. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Amazing the success Tennessee has had running the ball between the tackles in this game. Great job up front, Jason Robertson, the whole offensive line, but man, what a well-blocked play, and Tennessee continues to believe with the success they've had moving the ball, they have more than 100 yards in total offense, more than Texas A&M in this game.
Jack Jones also a part of that blocking effort up front. And Coleman Thomas, who was the backup center, here's the attempted extra point. I think the most impressive drive by Tennessee in the ball game.
Yeah, 9 plays, and you know why? They didn't make any mistakes. That's why. Hold on to the ball, and they got a chance. The offense is working.
Texas A&M campus in College Station, very close to the city of Bryan. In the Brazos Valley, our aerial coverage today Provided by Goodyear. For 60 years, Goodyear has provided aerial coverage of college football's greatest traditions and biggest rivalries. That was the first touchdown allowed by the Aggies defense in the third quarter so far this season. And it cuts the lead in half, 28-14. Aaron Medley will kick off. Speedy Noyle. And Jeremy Tabuyo, and this is going to be not much. It's going to bounce through. Let's talk a little bit about these Tennessee comebacks this season. In the season opener, they trailed Appalachian State, and they won it in overtime. They trailed Virginia Tech in that game at the Bristol Motor Speedway. They trailed Florida by 21 and dominated the second half. And last week, maybe the most thrilling finish in college football in at least a couple of years, as they won it 34-31, as Josh Dobbs hit a Hail Mary that had perfect trajectory to it.
It's beautiful, if you're not a Georgia fan.
Whoops. Bring it back. Well, Gary mentioned earlier that each of the last 2 years, this Aggie football team started off 5-0.
Prior to the snap, false start, 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Avery Genesee, the left tackle.
And guess who he was trying to block? Barnett.
Yes.
That's why he was trying to beat the snap count.
Knight, quick flip. Josh Reynolds out to the 27. Clock keeps moving. It'll be second down. We mentioned in each of the last two, they lost to Alabama in game 6 a year ago. They lost to Mississippi State in game 6 2 years ago. Second down 8. Knight intercepted, deflected and picked off by Colton Jumper.
Yeah, Malik Foreman made the play though. We called him out when he didn't do a good job. Now we're going to circle him because he jumped the route and made the play, did Foreman. The game started with a turnover, and watch number 13 get his hands in front of that play. It looked like Noyle was moving away from the ball while Foreman was moving towards the ball, and Jumper is the recipient.
Second interception taken off the arm of Trevor Knight today. Well, this Tennessee offense has moved the ball, as Gary has pointed out. Turnovers have been killers for them.
They've been doing it between the tackles. That's where they've been making their march.
And they try it again.
Yes, they do.
John Kelly. Could it be? They're certainly in familiar territory. Second down. They'll do it again.
Fumbled it again.
It's loose inside the 5-yard line.
Got it. Yes, they do. My goodness.
Nick Harvey.
Well, this was a positive play, and then just gets knocked out of his hands as he's going through to make maybe an 8 or 10-yard run.
At least.
Down. By rule, the ball comes back to the recovery spot on the 2-yard line. First down, Texas A&M.
And again, Joshua Dobbs tried to pick it up.
Yes, but boy, that is just, this is a play, it's a positive play. He's got it clearly and just coughs it up before he gets hit. Trying to change hands. It's always dangerous to change hands near the line of scrimmage. You got to get in the backfield before you do that.
To look at the fumble by John Kelly.
Well, there's been 6 of them. This is number 6. Remember, Kamara had one on a punt, and just one hand on the football as he looked like trying to shift it, popped it loose. He really didn't cough it up himself. That was a hand from A&M that just got it. Vern Toll called it exactly right. Got a turnover. I thought he might walk right into the end zone.
I did too. He'll go deep again on first down. And it's caught by Josh Reynolds. Yes, indeed.
Did he one-hand that?
How about that?
He's real near the goal line. It's decent coverage. And he did. One-handed it and then got it into his other hand. What an athletic play. And I got to tell you, you guys out there, young football players, he was not highly recruited at all out of high school, went to work in junior college, transferred in, and became a real football player.
Here's Knight around the end. He played at Tyler Junior College and then came in. He is a young man who twice in his career has scored on touchdown passes in excess of 90 yards.
Yeah, the big one this year was against Arkansas, 92 yards after the goal line stand. They just changed the whole football game.
Had a 95-yarder last year. Now Ford is back in the lineup.
This is where Tennessee has to be mentally tough. Things are not going well for them. They need to get a stop here.
And that pass in front of Christian Kirk. Third down, 8. Four wides, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Not much pressure across the middle. It's Reynolds again, but he's short of the first down. Colton Jumper. Again, Darren Kirkland, the starter, not playing.
Well, you think Derek Barnett, Corey Vereen, and that pass rush had any effect on quarterback Trevor Knight? Tennessee dropped in his zone, played everything in front of him, and Trevor Knight had that clock in his head saying, I got to get rid of it, and it forced a stop for Tennessee's defense. A good stop, and mentally, after that big pass play, a great stop.
Here's That's poor, very poor. Let's see where they spot this.
And nobody touched him on this one either.
No. Oh, my goodness. 35-yard line.
Well, okay, Tennessee walks out on the football field. They could have had this down to a 14-point game. Over 400 yards they've got.
We are back at Kyle Field, and it's time to bring the Aflac Duck back to center stage with the answer to the trivia question, which was, in their first meeting, Tennessee defeated Texas A&M 3-0 in the Gator Bowl. Bowden Wyatt and Paul Bear Bryant were the respective coaches. That was Coach Bryant's last game at Texas A&M. And among those who played for the Aggies in that game, a couple of college football Hall of Famers, John David Crow, Charlie Kruger, and an assistant coach for A&M, a guy you might remember named Bum Phillips. First down 10. They go up the middle again, Gary.
Oh, I don't blame them. You know, what will John Chavis do trying to close down the middle of that attack? Because Tennessee has been at will running the ball against them between the tackles.
409 yards of offense so far by the Volunteers. 2nd and 7. Dobbs across the middle, got him wide open. He fumbles again.
And an interception.
Yes, it's intercepted by Justin Evans. Jason Kroom. This will not be a fumble. It will be an interception. Justin Evans grabbed it.
Yeah, it was a perfect execution, a perfect throw. Has it, bobbles it, coughs it up, and Evans, I think, made the catch. They will review it. But I've really never seen much like this before. This It's amazing. Tennessee is only 14 points behind, and I think he did catch it there in this game. This is the time Butch Jones needs to look at his guys and go, we've been clutch all year. We've been tough all year. Stay in the game. We're still in the game, Tennessee is.
Sweep. Trayveon Williams. He's slowly climbing toward a 100-yard mark.
You know, Kevin Sumlin on the A&M sideline is nervous as can be. They had a 21-point lead. It could have been down to 7 just a couple minutes ago.
Right.
And they're leaving this Tennessee team hanging around. He wants a touchdown bad. Can they attack the corners again? They've had success.
Instead, they'll give it off to Trayveon Williams. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for a forward update. All right, thank you, Adam. It's Cortez McDowell, the injured player.
Yep. And if he's forced out of the game, the Tennessee, remember their 2 starting linebackers are gone.
Right.
One of their backups would be gone. They would have to go to their 3rd string linebacker in this game. On the left side, number 20. Oh, it looks like it was a helmet-to-helmet hit, and he was dazed by it.
Jalen Reeds-Maben is the starter. He is here, but he's got a shoulder problem.
Until he's dazed right there with that hit.
Oh, yeah. They lost Dylan Wiseman, the center, with an apparent concussion. You want to be careful with that.
Well, it is an amazing game by this Tennessee team. I mean, they've got maybe 4 star football players on defense coming into this season. 3 of them are out of the game, and they're still holding their own. I mean, they've held A&M, a powerful offense, to 321 yards in this game. But Tennessee is going to even up the whole year's turnovers in one game, it looks like.
Well, they came in just on fumbles alone, having lost the ball 15 times, or fumbled the ball 15 times. They lost only 3, but today they have made up for it. Boy. Well, in the West, A&M trying to go 4-0. Alabama, they go to Tennessee next week. LSU, not sure when and if they will play Florida. That game postponed this weekend. Arkansas plays tonight against Alabama. And here's Cortez McDowell. Well, this reminds me of a high school basketball tournament.
Yes, yes.
Round robin coming up here.
It's sure at A&M for Tennessee. Then they host Alabama. Then Alabama hosts Texas A&M.
We might know some things about this.
I wouldn't mind doing those 3 games.
You know, I second that idea. That's
we're doing 2 of them for sure.
3rd down 1. They do the sweep again. Nothing this time. Wow. Colton Jumper.
Yeah. Derek Barnett stretched it out enough for Colton Jumper to make the play. Watch Barnett to the outside. Goes upfield and allows Jumper to get off the block and blow up the play. Interesting play by A&M there. Electing to go wide on a 3rd and short.
And that brings on Shane Trapuka for the 8th punt. Alvin Kamara is deep for Tennessee. This one held up. And it gets an Aggie roll down to the 6-yard line. We don't need a committee, Gary, do we?
I thought I'd bring it back for year 3. Here's the way it's going to lay out. The undefeated, obviously, SEC team will be in. No particular order. Clemson, Miami from the ACC, if they're undefeated, they're in. We do know an undefeated Big Ten team will be in. And let's face it, if Washington runs the table, they'll be in. Louisville, Houston, the Big 12 champ, all need help.
I got you.
It'll start to get interesting, especially if Navy knocks off Houston with that lead they got going. What, under 5 minutes we heard from the update?
Yeah, what a huge win that would be for the Naval Academy. And they're down by here. Navy is up by 13 over an undefeated Houston team with 3.5 minutes remaining. And let's check in with Allie on this latest injury.
Vern McDowell just spent significant time with 4 members of the athletic training staff. They asked him a series of questions. They massaged his neck a little bit, and then they got him up off the bench, and they're walking him to the locker room as we speak.
Cortez McDowell.
I think it's being reviewed whether the punt went out of bounds before it was down on the 7-yard line. I think that's what's being reviewed.
Yeah, that is what they're doing, Gary, we're told.
Did it hit out of bounds on the, did it hit on that, what, 18.5-yard line, 17.5-yard line there? Did it hit the line? We can't tell from this one. Let's see if we can tell from this one. It's got to go back a little bit.
All right, one more time.
It looks like that ball might have hit the line.
Yes.
Oh, yes, it did.
See the chalk?
Yes, it did. How about that? See, we've got cameras from every angle. And it's going to go right there, what, about 17.5-yard line?
I think so.
Tennessee alive. What? 6 turnovers.
After further
still
review,
alive.
the ball hit the sideline at the 17.5-yard line. The ball will be placed there. First down, Tennessee.
Yeah, with 2:16 to go, it's a 2-touchdown game.
Nothing. That's if I'm
yeah.
Right now, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're just coming in from getting the garage done, cutting the grass, sitting down, and saying, "All right, here we go."
Been here.
Yeah. If we just don't tell him they turned the ball over 6 times, he may be happier.
Empty backfield for Dobbs. A lot of time. Crossing route, he's got him. That's Kamara out of the backfield, and bingo.
What a weapon he is. What a weapon he is. I'll tell you, this guy is going to be a great NFL player. You know, right from the start. Remember, that was the same formation. He scored the touchdown against Georgia last week. He went out. This time, he cut in.
34 yards on the first down play this time. Alvin Kamara is tackled by Jarrett Johnson and Zakoven Henderson.
Another tackle for loss, and Texas A&M leads the conference in tackles for loss. There's the country.
They came in with 50.
Yep.
5-0. It's second down, 11. Dobbs pumps, goes deep across the middle. It's caught. That is going to be close to a first down. Ethan Wolf, the tight end.
Yeah, this was a design play all the way. Fake the wide screen. Ethan Wolf stock blocks like he's going to block for the bubble screen, and then he cuts across the middle of the field. Well designed, well executed play.
And they're going to bring the chain out.
I'll tell you right now, this being a 14-point game, John Chavis looking at all these yards. He'll start blitzing now. He's going to come after that. And I don't think we've seen Myles Garrett this whole series.
No. So less than a foot.
And if I'm Tennessee, I don't know what they'll do. I would not go for a big player, not the Bart Starr play.
Okay.
I would commit 2 plays to make sure I get this first down. For as many tackles for losses as A&M can give you, I'm getting a first down here. Let's see what Mike DeBoard wants to do. There you go with Myles Garrett on the sideline the whole series.
Yes. They've got the first down. It's John Kelly, who's the backup with Jalen Hurd back home.
How about the confidence that Butch Jones has in Kelly? Staying with him, John Kelly, 2 fumbles without Jalen Hurd in the game. Kamara can't play every play. He just caught a big pass, and Kelly has to come through. He's been effective running the ball, no doubt about that. He's been holding on the ball.
Sideline warning, I believe, was the indication from David Smith. First down 10. Play action. Dobbs. Oh, brother. Donovan Wilson. Gary talked about how effective he has been, and he proves his worth there.
Well, what did I say? John Chavis is not going to sit back. He's going to come with the blitz, and he did this time. Coming off the edge, play action pass, and Chavis will not sit back. You start doing it over and over again, he's going to bring the guys after you. He's been doing it for his whole career in this conference.
That's a loss of 12. It's the 4th sack by the Aggies today. Final 10 seconds, 3rd quarter. Blitz again. That's caught, but it's a moderate gain. Ethan Wolf, the tight end.
Player hurt for A&M. Oh,
Donovan Wilson.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
No doubt it's his right leg. There's no doubt it's his right leg. Let's see what happened. Oh, he sprained, he hyperextended his right knee. I don't know if he stepped on Dobbs' foot, but he hyperextended it back.
Well, while they tend to Donovan Wilson, we have reached the end of 3. It's 28-14. We'll return to College Station right after this message and a word from your local station. What a pleasure it is again to be back at this place that reveres tradition. Texas A&M University. This was the scene as we changed the ends of the field. Third down and 18. Dobbs back, pressure up the middle, goes deep left side. He's got a man open, and it is tipped away. It was Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, but a flag came in late. I don't know if he caught it or not. Did he make the catch? Jennings thinks he did.
Now he's down.
Man-to-man coverage. I think they called this caught. He had a good matchup. Remember, they haven't gone deep all game. He bobbled it. It looked like he bobbled it when the ball hit the ground.
Pass interference on the defense, number 24. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, we've been talking about all game, Vern, that the tennis...
Ruling was incomplete. Ruling was incomplete.
A&M corners had been sitting on plays. And finally, Mike DeBoard and Tennessee said, let's throw one up. Let's see if one of our big guys can catch one.
Well, it appears that Jawan Jennings may have just had the breath knocked out of him and the ball
Right.
came into his midsection. Hope that's the case.
Yes, he's too good of a play. But listen, Tennessee's back down there again.
Right.
They've been inside the 10 twice. Remember on the screen pass and down there again without points. Now they're down there again. If they score on this drive, that pressure will be definitely on this A&M football team.
Corner blitz. Dobbs cuts up, hit from behind, and is stopped. They're trying to rip the ball out. Claude George, number 31,
Dobbs does a great job of holding on to this football and not letting a strip on a tackle cost him.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Juwan Jennings near side. Josh Smith is also on the near side. And Josh Dobbs out of the spread again. That's Malone going left. Low snap. Dobbs has it. Under pressure. Down. At the 45.
Holy cow.
Deshaun Hall and Dalen Mack.
I'll tell you, Dalen Hall, it's the bear look again. There's no, look at, bear look means 3 guys inside over the guards and the center, and that means the 2 outside rushers have a one-on-one run. And now, maybe a slightly injured, but very fresh Myles Jarrett in the football game. And he got him matched up inside on the true freshman, number 75.
3rd down, across the middle, incomplete. Intended for Josh Smith. Deshaun Hall with the pressure.
Dobbs got hit just as he let it go. If the ball was out in front of him, he had a chance, but that's a tough throw with that kind of pressure in your face, because Hall was barreling in on him.
That brings on Trevor Daniel again. This will be his 5th punt. Christian Kirk at the 6. Fair catch at the 8. Deshaun Hall, number 10, time call.
For our Geico game recap.
Well, let's bring you up to date on this battle of undefeateds. It's the 3rd straight game that Tennessee has been down by 10 points at the half. One of the touchdowns scored by Christian Kirk. Butch Jones with a little bit of a look of concern. 6 Tennessee turnovers. There was a Trayveon Williams touchdown. And Trevor Knight, 3 total touchdowns. He has thrown 2 interceptions, but he got this TD on the ground despite all those turnovers, all those penalties. Tennessee still in this. Let's check in with Allie on injury updates.
Vern, I have an update for you for Texas A&M's Donovan Wilson. He is dealing with a right knee injury. He continues to point to the outside of the right knee. He went on to the athletic trainer's table. They worked on his knee a little bit. He got up, rode the bike. Then he ran some sprints on the sideline. He looked like he was almost going full speed, but at the end of each sprint, he came up still experiencing some discomfort in that right knee, and now he's back on the trainer's table.
All right, Allie, thank you.
I wonder if Noah Mazzoni is going to try to find a way to get Trevor Knight involved in the running game. He's only rushed for 32 yards in the game. He's a big part of their running package.
Not on this play. Handed off to Trayveon Williams. That's Williams' 19th carry of the ball game.
I mean, this A&M team has been rushing the ball for more than, they have not had a game this year that they did not rush for 200 yards.
Right.
And they are having trouble running the ball against this, patchwork defense for Tennessee. You got to give a lot of credit this Tennessee defense.
Another defender down. This is Kendall Vickers, number 39. Well, one more look. So they will continue. Well, now he's getting up. That's a good sign. Time has been called. Recently renovated Texas A&M's Kyle Field. Aerial coverage today provided by Goodyear. For 60 years, Goodyear has provided aerial coverage of college football's greatest traditions and biggest rivalries. On second down. Into the secondary. It's Keith Ford. Big first down for the Aggies. That's a gain of 22.
Yeah, we got on him a little bit on the screen pass, but this was great patience and then explosion for a first down. By far his best play of the football game.
First down 10. And they'll try Ford again, but this time Todd Kelly makes the tackle. Well, in 2014, Trevor Knight, 308 yards passing in a win over Tennessee. And it was complemented by Keith Ford, who had 91 total yards, both now playing for Texas A&M. 2nd and 7, under 12 to go. And Ford again. Danny O'Brien, let's go back to New York. Here is Adam Zisville. Well, and that injured player, Adam, is Danny O'Brien. Second time he has been injured in this game.
Yeah, he spun off to make the tackle. I think I'm right here. Spins off the tackle and throws himself back into the play, and it was helmet to helmet again. That time the ball carrier actually went down and hit him low. Danny O'Brien. Is that our third Tennessee player with a concussion type hit?
I believe
right?
so. I believe that is the count.
Yeah.
McDowell, Weissman. And meanwhile, for the Aggies, Donovan Wilson warming up.
It takes hard work. Anything is possible.
Now, Dan O'Brien still down, and the medical staff from Tennessee out, tending to his needs ever so cautiously.
Yeah, the way they're securing his head and neck right there, they're very fearful that they don't want anything to happen, you know, turning him over, so they're going to be very, very conservative.
They're bringing the stretcher out.
Yep, not
never
surprised.
a good sign.
That's good to see. A Texas A&M fan and a Tennessee fan together, both concerned. There you see his teammates all on one knee.
Yep. Every precaution being taken now. And Dan O'Brien has been placed on the stretcher on his back. Jalen Reed's maiden, Cameron Sutton on the sideline.
Well, that's good right there. We're seeing
Yeah.
him wiggling his fingers. And
You
a
bet.
lot of times the medical staff is assuring him that we're just doing this in a precautionary way. Don't panic. We're just doing this for your own good. to make sure, because he may be saying, I feel fine, and they're going, no, let's just take our time and we're going to do it the proper way.
See in the background his teammates on a knee. And on this side of the field, the Aggies have taken a similar posture, both on the bench and on the field.
And again, the replay, he was spinning off a block, turning, and actually the ball carrier ran into him. He didn't even initiate the hit. Here he is. Let's watch. He takes on a double team like he's supposed to. Then he feels the ball inside, goes down low, but so does the ball carrier at the same time.
Just a murmur through this crowd of 100,000 plus.
When the game does resume, this is the toughest part, you know, is you got to go out there and rely on your instincts of playing football now. You can't, you know, your mind can't wander. You have to trust your techniques and just go play. And it's, you know, the really strong reserve to concentrate on your job, because it's only human nature to probably start thinking about how your teammate is out there.
Sure. Well, I think they're about ready to lift Danny O'Brien.
He's a big man. He's over 300 pounds. It's going to take, you know, all 6 or 8 of them here to do this. Fifth-year senior.
You can see how they've stabilized Danny O'Brien as much as they possibly could. There's Coach Jones to the left. He's guessing that's his mom. And we are back to play. Flag on that first one. Jalen Reed's Maben, Darren Kirkland, Cameron Sutton, Jalen Hurd.
Offside on the defense, number 40.
And today
Penalty
they
is
have
5
lost
yards.
Danny
Still
O'Brien,
third down.
Dylan Wiseman, and Cortez McDowell.
Well, that takes it from 3rd and 6 to what 3rd and a yard, obviously. And really changes your play call. Now you feel you can involve, you know, the play action run instead of the play action pass. They went wide last time, and Barnett blew it up.
Knight. And they stuff it again.
Yeah.
Keith Ford, and let's quickly check in with Allie LaForce.
Vern, we do have a glimpse of hope here from Tennessee, telling me that Danny O'Brien is moving all 4 extremities. They're taking him in to evaluate him further. As I learn more, I'll let you know.
Thank you. Shane Trapuka on to punt for the 9th time. Alvin Kamara waits for it at the 15-yard line.
The story in the first half was Tennessee couldn't make 3rd down conversions. In the second half, it's Texas A&M can't do it.
Trapuka booms this one. Kamara at the 8. And gang tackled at the 15-yard line.
I guess I'll bet his number 12 is in there. I did not see it.
Yes,
is he in there? Yes.
Yes, he is. But he's very slow getting up this time. And he's got another teammate on the ground.
You just almost tell by the hits the way he goes down there that he's involved in it.
10:36 remaining in this ball game. This injury-filled football game. The injured player was Sean Washington, able to get up and walk off without assistance. He would run into his teammate Gillespie. And now Quicken Loans presents today's Scholar Athletes. Tennessee's Kenny Bynum, number 51. And on the right, Alex Caesar Jr. of Texas A&M with very fine GPAs. Quicken Loans' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Tennessee and Texas A&M's General Scholarship Fund. First down 10, 14-point game. Dobbs comes around the right side. Triple teamed and down. Alaka was a part of it.
Yeah, well, 2 points here, Vern. Texas A&M has not trailed in the second half of the game this year. But we did the UCLA game.
Right.
When they were up by 15 points and UCLA came back. Just about in this type of situation like this, too.
2nd and 3. Dobbs inside Jawan Jennings. He's got a first down. Look at him fight. First down at the 36.
Well, that's a lot of cushion, Nick Harvey. At this point in the game, the corners for A&M have been giving some easy throws. That was real easy.
Yeah. There's laying off the receiver,
yes.
And then there's backing up.
And Jawan Jennings is...
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding? Now, was there a whistle before the snap?
There was.
Holy cow.
False start on the offense. All 11 players were not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's a way of spreading the blame.
Well, nobody was them. They tried to go fast a little bit. The receiver was not set when the ball was snapped. And you know what? That was a valuable play because the center had no idea the receiver wasn't set. That was a break that Tennessee caught on that play. Remember, they do have a backup center in the game.
Coleman Thomas, number 55. Here's Dobbs quickly. There's bumping, and there is
the interference.
Tyler Bird, the intended receiver. Armani Watts with the bump, and
yeah, it was on Tyler Bird, right? I believe coming across.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got there. You couldn't really tell, but in real, it's not off the monitor, but as I'm watching it live, it felt like he got there early. No call.
2nd and 15. 9:47 to go.
Myles Garrett in the game, split out wide.
They've used him sparingly. Here's the pass to Jennings on the near side. And Nick Harvey.
Man. The linesman just got drilled. As Jennings went down, the official, the Texas A&M player, was coming to clean up the tackle, and watch him go right over the top, and Justin Evans hits the linesman.
That's Chad Lawrence, the line judge.
See, he tries to pull off the hit, and wow, the line judge is one tough guy. That was a big-time hit.
3rd and 10. A&M brings 4. They've got a blitz on. The pass to Kamara out on the near side, and watch him go. A first down.
You know, I don't know exactly who he reminds me of, but no one picks up the blitz. Hot to the outside. You got D.D. Hall in there, but when Kamara catches the ball, he can cruise.
A big 3rd down conversion. It's 1st down and 10 at the 49. Quick flip, far side. That's Tyler Bird again, number 10.
Number 10, Day Hall, has been playing the whole game. Myles Garrett has been coming in situational pass rushes.
Yeah, Jared Johnson has occupied that right defensive end most of the time. Blitz threatened, blitz coming. Quick flip out here, and Josh Smith is taken down almost immediately by Justin Evans. He is one tough cookie.
Well, he read this play all the way. Again, when you start moving the ball against a John Chavis defense, he is going to come up, he's going to play man-to-man, and he's going to start eating up space.
3rd down 6, 8:20 to go.
By the way, Donovan Wilson is back in the football game.
Dobbs takes off. Look how elusive he is. That is another Tennessee first down.
He is just so calm. Again, this Tennessee team has been through so much this year. They are not going to be fazed by this 14-point, which was once a 21-point lead.
Under 8 to go. 1st and 10 at the 34. Dobbs a lot of time, goes right. Jawan Jennings, and he cannot hang on.
I think Nick Harvey might have gotten his hand in there. Not sure, number 1, if Harvey got his hand in there to make a play.
Ooh.
He grabbed his left arm is what happened.
Yeah.
Jennings could not get both hands on the ball. Got the same matchup to the outside. It's man-to-man right here.
Yes, indeed. Blitz. Kamara breaks the tackle. And he is hauled down by Armani Watts, but not until he gets to the 15-yard line.
Kamara dodges the blitzer just as he gets the handoff. Watch this play. Dodges the blitz just as he gets the handoff and gets into the secondary. You just can't teach that.
Dobbs. Oh boy, hang on. He did not. Armani Watts couldn't control him.
Make sure, Craig.
First and goal.
Runs through that hard tackle. We've seen this in every game we've watched him.
Up the middle. Touchdown. Tennessee. John Kelly.
This Tennessee team has over 500 yards in offense. Coach Jones saying we're going to go for 1, obviously.
I don't know. He did a 40-yard sprint. His 40-yard dash time is 5.7.
I don't know if he got his knee across the line or not, but he must have.
Aaron Medley with the extra point. It is 28-21.
Well, remember the short pass to Kamara when he got down the sideline. Then this play where he gets the ball and beats a blitzer and a tackler at the line of scrimmage. And then from there, Josh Dobbs goes to the outside. When he's running the football, he is tough to tackle. A 1-2 punch today between Kamara and Dobbs. And by the way, John Kelly has done a job when he's held on to the ball. Is he still their leading rusher in this game? He is, with 89 yards.
Yes, Kamara's behind him with 83. Kelly has rushed for 13 times, Kamara 14, and Josh Dobbs 16. And all that was a 12-play, 85-yard drive. It took 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Look at this, in 2015, 3 losses.
Well, they did lose 4 games they were leading last year. And remember, they only lost 4 all year. This year, been just the opposite. They were a first-half team last year. This year, they're a fourth-quarter team. I don't know if they believe, but we believe. We've seen
that's
it.
for sure. Here's Medley's kick. Speedy Noyle is going to let this one go through the end zone. People affected by severe weather and other disasters need help now. To support those impacted by Hurricane Matthew, text Matthew to 90999. Each text is a $10 gift to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief.
On the third down play prior, the last stop by Tennessee, Trevor Knight was very upset with himself. He thought he read it wrong and should have kept it. When is Trevor Knight going to do something running the ball? Again, 9 for just 32 yards.
He's going to pass. No, he's not. He's going to run out of bounds. Good pursuit. Malik Foreman was the one who finally forced Knight into the bench area.
You've got to give a lot of credit to this Tennessee defense. They are hanging in with one of the most powerful offenses in the conference, with maybe 4 or 5 backups in this football game.
Well, Elliott Berry is one of them. Not Evan. This is Elliott, number 41, who's on the field defensively. Knight chased off the back foot, intercepted, picked off by Todd Kelly.
Trevor Knight is sure that it bounced. They called it an interception. Totally threw that ball off his back foot. Well, let's see if it was. Yeah, it bounced.
It bounced.
Yep. I'm going to get another shot at it.
Yep.
The previous play is under further review. The running on the field was an interception.
Well, this is the habits that Trevor Knight was guilty of when he lost his job at Oklahoma. Making plays outside of the offense that are too risky and turning the ball over. He may have dodged one here, but remember in the first quarter, he did the exact same thing and got an interception.
Again, Steve Landis is our replay official.
Let's see if we can see if it bounces. It's a little blurry. No, I don't know if his hand under the ball. Remember, they called it caught. That was not clear enough.
How about this one? They did call it a catch.
The question is his right hand under the ball, or did it bounce? I think it bounced.
I do too.
Is it enough for the replay official to overrule it?
Well, if you did not know the name of our referee, David Smith, before today, he's become a household name.
After further review, the ball hit the ground prior to the interception. Therefore, it's incomplete. It will be 3rd down on the 27-yard line.
Since the UCLA game, when UCLA tied it up, I think this is the biggest pressurized drive that A&M has had this season. Their defense is reeling. They're tired. They're getting the ball ran on them. They badly need to help their team with the first down here.
3rd down and 8. A do-over for the Aggies. Now they're confused defensively.
Got him. He got him.
Yeah, he sure did. Yep.
Remember, this happened before on 3rd and 1, and they could not pick it up.
Offside defense, number 9. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That is the 11th penalty, in addition to 6 lost.
He went on the center's backside, dropped, and on the play, that's when Barnett went.
3rd down 3 at the 32.
Uh-oh, right guard move. We're going back to where we were.
Connor Lanfear, number 70.
Start. 70 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Eric McCoy does the same routine, and this time he pulls off his partner to the right, Lanfear.
And you notice that Kendall Vickers, number 39, who was out with an injury, is back in the defensive line for Tennessee.
Last time in this situation they blitzed. Will they do it again? 5-man look, bare front. Colton Jumper here is the 5th guy that came the time before that almost forced an interception. Will he come again?
They stunt. Knight throws it. It's incomplete. Intended for Josh Evans and knocked away by Emmanuel Mosley.
Well, Tennessee is starting to feel it. Now they're crowding those first down throws. They don't believe Trevor Knight is going to beat them deep now. They played the first down pass, and they got it. Great play by Mosley.
Trapuka on to punt for the 10th time.
10 punts.
Yes. And this is not a good one. It does take an Aggie bounce and rolls out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And don't forget, now Trapuka's upset with himself now. That's a 43-yard punt, nothing on the return. The Napa play of the game may be that we haven't had it yet. That's presented by Napa Auto Parts. That will be at the conclusion of this one.
Well, and Tennessee is now slowly pulling away because A&M can't make first downs. They're going to run their 80th play of this football game, and they're controlling the game on offense, mainly because they can run the ball between the tackles.
43 carries between Kelly Kamara and Dobbs. First down, low snap, Dobbs inside. That one was tipped, I think, by Deshaun Hall.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
I think the snap was what caused it, though. A good snap here, and he's going to be able to hit this throw.
Deshaun Hall out of Seattle, moved to Lancaster, a suburb of Dallas, his junior year in high school. Primarily a basketball player as a young man. There they go again. It's Alvin Kamara. That's his 15th carry. And it's 3rd down. 6:05 to go. Both teams with 3 timeouts.
And this time it's left guard Jashawn Robertson right now.
Wow.
Well, you know, all the bumps and bruises, if they can get to next week, they only have Alabama. So
that's right. And the Aggies are trying to get to next week because they have an open week.
Right.
And then they get Alabama.
Oh, yeah, from behind. Fell on from behind. Right knee, probably. Right ankle. Butch Jones has been on the field so much he's going to get his letter today. He's been out.
Whiz, yes. Well, the coach is going to help him up.
Yeah, he gets kind of hit from behind, falling on his right ankle right there. Now what do you do with Myles Garrett? He has not been real effective coming off the edge. He does not have that normal burst we saw at the beginning of the season. Remember that injury against Arkansas has really made him about a 70% football player. In fact, they're going to put him on the left side.
They sure are. And Deshaun Hall will go to the right. 3 down. Denzel Bulware is the backup lineman who's in. 3rd and 7.
Yeah, they will bring 5 here. You watch. They're not standing over there for nothing.
Stunts. Dobbs. High. Incomplete. 4th down. Justin Evans. Who else?
Sure did.
Josh Malone, the intended receiver.
And Noel Ellis, number 4, was in on the play, but it was Justin Evans. One of the most talented pair of safeties the SEC has this year, Armani Watson, Justin Evans.
And Trevor Daniel, excuse me.
No, he made the play on that one, didn't he? It was a big pop.
Here's Daniel to punt on 4th and 7. Christian Kirk at the 20.
And a bomb.
Just a little too much. So it's a touchback. Stay tuned for the Jeep post-game show coming up after our game. Well, the Aggies haven't done much on offense. They're going to get another shot. In a 7-point game with 5:50 to go, all 3 timeouts available for both teams.
I just can't get over what a great job the Tennessee defense has done against the running game for A&M. Trevor Knight has not been able to find any of those inside creases that has featured so well for him early in the season.
Only 49 yards on the ground in this half for the Aggies. Knight keeps it, cuts out to the 27. Colton Jumper with the tackle.
And Bob Shoop now is challenging Texas A&M to throw the ball. We dare you. They're playing man-to-man. They're crowding the box. They're putting an extra guy in there with the hat. Bob Shoop, first-year defensive coordinator here at Tennessee. He's been through a lot the last couple of weeks.
Boy, has he ever.
Both ends of the spectrum, Florida and Georgia.
2nd down, 3. They'll go up the middle with Trayveon Williams. That's his.
Remember, if it's touching the line, it'll be a 1st down because it was a touchback. You don't even have to measure here. If it touches the line, it's a 1st down.
Yep, and it is so ruled. 4:50 to go. 28-21. Knight has carried it 11 times. There's the snap. They hand it off in the sweep, and this one's going to be tough to. Oh, he does get around the edge.
Got the corner, didn't he?
Yeah.
I agree with you. When I was watching it, I said, boy, he's not going to get around the edge, but he did. I thought Elliott Berry, number 41, had a chance for him, but he didn't get him.
Williams, 21 carries, 95 yards. Kirk and Noyle are both to the near side. Josh Reynolds at wide out to the far right side, top of your screen. And Trayveon Williams with Trevor Knight. Running at right guard, right tackle again. Derek Barnett with the stop. 3rd down.
Here you go.
Yeah, here you go. What do you got?
Well, I'll be surprised again if Trevor Knight doesn't have his hands on the football running it or a run-pass option.
3rd down and 3, and
timeout called for some reason. This has to be a clock issue.
could be the play clock.
Right.
Yeah,
I noticed on the play before, on 1st down, A&M, the play clock was at like 37 when they snapped it. I wonder if they're having trouble setting the play clock.
The play clock is not functioning properly. The play clock will be kept on the field by the back judge.
Yeah, the play before, it looked like it was out of whack. When they snapped the ball, it had like 37 seconds on it. See, 25, and it's freezing up. And it happened on the 2 previous plays. That makes it tough for A&M because they're wanting to bleed the clock now. They don't want to snap it until there's at least 5 seconds on the clock.
Right.
Usually the back judge will give him a signal.
Right.
When it's under 10.
That's Wayne Gautney, the back judge. And that's Trevor Knight, the quarterback, and it's 3rd down and 3 with 3:40 to go in the game. 4-man down for Tennessee defensively.
He kept it.
Yes, he did. Here he goes. Here he goes. At the 20, at the 10. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
Had to happen, didn't it?
Yeah.
Had to happen. He was going to keep it sooner or later. I tell you, I watched him on the previous 3rd and short. He was very upset with himself and a misread. He almost knew he was keeping this one no matter what.
Daniel LaCamera.
Ooh, low, and he made it.
Wow. 3:22 to go. We'll take another look at the touchdown run after this. 15-point A&M lead after the 62-yard Knight touchdown run.
Yeah, watch Abernathy right here, a young safety having to tackle a very difficult player in space. Doesn't make the tackle, should have been a 1st down, but also with a clean tackle would not have been a touchdown.
And so a 14-point edge. Low boot. Oh, it went out of bounds.
Boy, I tell you, we talk about teams keeping their wits about them at ends of games. These are the type of penalties and mistakes you can put a team back in the game.
Free kick out of bounds. Number 34 on the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
You give a team field position, game's not over. You gotta stay calm and clear at the end of ball games. Remember last week, Vern?
Yeah.
The touchdown by Georgia, and look what happened. Player goes on the field without his helmet. Referee calls it, costs them 15 yards. Get a short kickoff, allows Tennessee to get field position, and what happens? It only takes one throw. You have to keep your wits about you at the end of football games.
1st down from the 35, Dobbs. He retreats, screen pass, Kamara right side. All kinds of room to the 50-yard line.
Well, Kamara has a great, well, he's already the leading receiver in this game with over 130 yards. A couple more yards, he could be the leading rusher and receiver. You know, all long time ago football player. He reminds me of Chuck Foreman.
Oh,
the
wow.
way he could handle the pass and the run, and as smooth as he was.
That's a high tribute. Down the middle she goes. And it is knocked away by Nick Harvey. Intended for Josh Malone. Second down 10. Corner blitz. Dobbs incomplete.
Another drop.
Josh Malone, yes.
Drop passes and fumbles. At that time, Dobbs rode him into the pocket, and Malone batted it.
Third down 10.
Again, A&M aggressive. They're going after the quarterback.
Here they come. Deshaun Hall inside. This one is complete. And he leaned out. Let's see what the spot is. Jason Kroom, the tight end.
About a foot short.
Justin Evans with the tackle. It's 4th and a foot. And a 14-point game with 2:35 to go. Up the middle, Kamara. Watch this downfield block. And Kamara still fights inside the 5.
Hey, he's as good as you'll see this year. Once he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's elusive, he's faster than people think, and he breaks tackles.
That was a gain of 36. He breaks another tackle. That's a touchdown, Tennessee.
And with 2 minutes to go, Tennessee does not have to go onside kick. They have all 3 timeouts.
See, Butch Jones said we're going for 1.
Another broken tackle. Another. Well, Amani Watts is trying to steal the ball instead of trying to make the tackle there.
Aaron Medley for the extra point. 2:07 to go.
Almost the same amount of time as last week.
Yeah.
Only Georgia had the ball, and they could not make a first down.
66 yards in 6 plays. It took all of 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Tennessee will have to bring their hands team in. And I would bet that Tennessee will kick it down deep. 3 timeouts, 2 minutes to go. If they get a stop, they could get this ball back with 1:30 to go.
Christian Kirk is up at the 20-yard line. Here's Medley. And they do kick it deep, and it will go over Kirk's head and come out to the 25. Well, gosh, seems like we've been here before.
Absolutely. This Tennessee team is very clutch. They're great leadership by Butch Jones to not get his team, despite, what, 6 turnovers?
Yep.
To stay in this football game, numerous injuries. You can't help but admire this Tennessee football team.
Well, we mentioned the fact that they came in 5-0, and 4 times they were down by 10 or more, and in this one they trailed 28-7. They knocked off Appalachian State, Virginia Tech, Florida, Georgia, and now they're within 7, and the Aggies have the football. Trayveon Williams.
And a quick timeout, just the way I would have done it.
Time taken. We'll step away. He's got a little work here to ensure that that would happen. It's 2nd down and 8.
I don't know if I'm going to let Trevor Knight throw it, but if I'm Kevin Sumlin, I'd say, you can run anything else you want. I don't trust my defense. We need a first down.
Left side. Trayveon Williams keeps his fate. And he's loose. It's a foot race. He's at the 10. He fumbles.
It's going to be a touchback.
Yes, he did. He fumbled through the end zone. Malik Foreman forced it.
What a play. He would have been better off just sliding down without a touchdown. The game's over. This is going to be a touchback. Tennessee's going to get the ball.
Ruling on the field is the ball was fumbled forward out of bounds to the back of the end zone. That is a touchback. First down, Tennessee. 20-yard line.
I don't know if Butch Jones has pixie dust, but whatever he's got, I'm buying it. I'll tell you that. This play, what a tremendous play from behind. The touchback, and not only do they get the ball back, remember, if the running back right there, Williams, would have just taken a knee, the game is over. He did not have to score. And now, with 2 timeouts left, they're getting the ball back.
Watch him punch it out from behind. It's Malik Foreman, a senior.
I don't know what's more improbable. Coming here, if they could win this game with 6 turnovers, being down behind 14, having a running back running for a touchdown, and still being in the football game.
1:49 to go. Move. Left tackle. Brett Kendrick. That'll cost him 5.
Again, keep your wits about you at the end of football
Prior to
games.
the snap, false start, number 63 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
How ironic. Malik Foreman, the guy who took a half step off the week before, is the one that hustles through the play and punches it out this week.
First down 15. 12 penalties on Tennessee now, along with 6 lost fumbles, and they're a touchdown away. Here's Dobbs. All kinds of time. It's Tyler Bird, the freshman, gets a block. He's down at the 41.
Fastest player on Tennessee's football team, and he was in space. Great pass protection, and Dobbs from the pocket throws a strike.
A gain of 44. Dobbs is thrown for 353 now. Here comes the pressure. Dobbs lets it go. It's caught by Jason Kroom. Let's take a look at the previous play.
Just a crossing route over the middle. He gets great protection. Look at that pocket. And delivers to the fastest player on Tennessee's football team, Tyler Bird.
1:26 to go. Tennessee, 2 timeouts left. 3 men down for the Aggies. Crossing route again to the 30. That's Brandon Johnson, number 17.
Myles Garrett is barely running right now.
He's hobbling. Injured left ankle.
Yeah, Kevin Sumlin had to take a timeout.
1:12 to go. He's clinging to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, the previous play, Myles Garrett tries to spin, but when he spins, he kind of retwists that ankle again. He goes down. I know Kevin Sumlin did not want to burn a timeout here. He's afraid they'll score, but he had no choice. He had a guy on the field, they would have been playing with 10 men.
Jawan Jennings, hero of the game last week, the win.
And because of the timeout, he gets him back in the game.
Jennings top of the screen. Stunts, screen pass.
Oh, a lot of space.
It's Kamara, who else? And he's to the 18-yard line, perhaps the 17. Kingsley Keke made the tackle.
Yep, you knew that A&M was going to try to get to Dobbs. Great call by Mike DeBoard.
1st and 10. Dobbs, he'll take off, and then he throws it incomplete. He got rid of it and got it out of bounds. Kingsley Keke, number 88. Second down.
Tennessee with close to about 650 yards, going close to 700 yards. Jawan Jennings, top left.
Tight coverage. Dobbs with the change.
He's got a big height advantage up there.
Blitz. Dobbs hit as he lets it go. Kamara driving. He's in. Touchdown.
Keep your helmet on. He almost got a 15-yard penalty.
They will go for one for the tie. Aaron Medley. Parker Henry is the holder. Riley Lovingood is the snapper.
Right guard moved. I was looking at Butch there to see if he was going to put two fingers up. With all the injuries he had, I was thinking.
On the defense, number 15. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Replay the try.
Well, it was Garrett moving first. He's going to decline it.
Correction, the penalty is declined.
Half the distance to the goal would have been an interesting thing to go for two.
Decision, yeah. And they apparently will go for one. High snap. Good hold. And Parker Henry may have saved the tie. How about the game that Alvin Kamara has put together? Pixie dust. .35-35. Kamara, 17 runs for 127 yards, 8 catches for 161 yards.
He's close to 300 yards in total offense, and that does not count his punt returns. He's having a Christian McCaffrey type game.
Boy, that's right.
All of the kickoffs in the game, I think, have been touchbacks. So is this one.
Well, a week ago.
Lessons learned. Malik Foreman just slows down for a half a yard. He's got him. He's got him. He relaxes. Touchdown. Did he learn a lesson? Well, in this game, he played to the last half yard and made the save.
A&M uses, well, they have 2 timeouts left. They had to use one on the Myles Garrett injury.
You know who's been very quiet in this game for A&M? Christian Kirk.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he started out quick with the touchdown pass, but not much else.
Josh Reynolds, top of the screen. 41 seconds to go in regulation. Knight backs up. It's incomplete. Second down and 10.
Ooh, it almost bounced up.
Yes, it did.
Interesting calls for A&M. They're not in love with their quarterback throwing from the pocket. They sure as heck don't want to give Tennessee a Hail Mary to finish the game.
I would think not.
They want to get to overtime. It's just, remember like the UCLA game, we talked about it early. They had a 15-point lead. They got tied late. They won it in overtime.
Second and 10. Here's Williams.
Clock will stop on the first down.
Yep. That's a gain of 14.
Now they feel better about where they are and what they can call.
LaCamera, if you're thinking field goal, the sophomore, his longest of the year is 48 yards. He's 11 of 14. Here's Knight back. Across the middle, got him open. It's Christian Kirk, and he falls backwards out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
We had to wonder first when Trevor Knight would run and then when Christian Kirk might catch a pass. He has been very quiet. He is their playmaker.
First down at the 40 with 23 seconds left. Aggies have 2 timeouts, as do the Volunteers.
Can Corey Vereen or Derek Barnett help out the secondary?
Speedy Noyle in motion number 2. Knight, play action, goes deep for Christian Kirk, left side. Good coverage. That was Malik Foreman.
Had him by the jersey again.
Did he ever?
Boy, that is a bad habit. He has to break that habit. That'll go through the officials like hot knife through butter. That will be seen by every officiating crew, and they'll start looking for it. I got to think Josh Reynolds here. I got to be honest, number 11. He is money. He's the top of the screen.
Right. And there's a little bump and run coverage on him. Here's Kirk. High snap. Knight hands it off. There goes Trayveon Williams. They try to knock the ball loose, and they do not. Timeout. Clock stopped. It's not timeout. It's stopped on the first down.
10 seconds. They should use a timeout. They have 2 with only 10 seconds. Take your time.
That's a gain of 22.
Wow, he got some moves, doesn't he?
He has rushed 26 times for 209 yards. This is an official's timeout. Now, were they not to gain a yard, the ball is at the 18. It would be a 35-yard field goal.
Yeah. Remember the last extra point we pointed out that it was a very low kick. So that has to worry A&M. They probably have time for one play.
Daniel LaCamera, a sophomore from Tarpon Springs, Florida, coming into the game 11 of 14 with a season long of 48 yards.
One of the things you do at this point is go to your kicker and say, where do you want the ball? Where do you want to kick from? Trevor Knight most likely will keep the ball, run to his right, center the ball, and then try for the kick to win the game.
Here's Knight, goes to the center, and takes a knee almost. And they call time. Well, Tennessee is saying, well, this is well within our point of reference.
Right.
At 8 seconds left.
Was it A&M that called the timeout?
Yeah.
Why did they not get it all the way down to 1 second? I thought it was going to be Tennessee trying to save a few seconds. Run to the right, relax, relax. You got plenty of time. Look at the clock. And they call it with 8 seconds to go.
Well, the snapper is going to be Christian Robertson out of Grapevine, Texas. The holder will be Connor McQueen. His dad played at A&M. His granddad, Bob, was one of the great coaches in high school football in Texas. And the foot belongs to Daniel LaCamera.
Watch, Butch will probably try to freeze him. He's got 2 left.
Now they're waiting for, yeah, there we go. Butch called.
Timeout, Tennessee, their second. Should be a 30-second timeout.
Well, coming up tonight on CBS, we'll begin with NCIS and NCIS New Orleans, followed by a new edition of 48 Hours tonight, only CBS. Josh Dobbs has assumed a prayerful posture. All he's done is throw for 394 and rush for 52 and caught a touchdown pass. One of these teams is going to remain undefeated. This is only the 7th time the 2 top 10 teams have played at Kyle Field. The last Aggie win in one of these was in 1975 when they defeated Texas. 8 seconds to go.
He did it again. Earned another one.
Now, Tennessee, their third. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Tennessee football is pretty fun to watch, isn't it?
Well, we've had them 3 weeks in a row, and we get them again next week. That will be against Alabama.
You got to go to basics. You got to go to your center, snap, holder, get it down, do the normal, go through your fundamentals, keep your head down when you kick it, and then look up.
And again, Christian Robertson is the center. Connor McQueen the holder. Daniel LaCamera will kick.
He had one low kick. He's got to get this ball in the air. They're going to get penetration.
For the lead. He missed it. He missed it.
Badly. It was low and left. Pixie dust all over this guy. Everything he's doing right now, Butch Jones is pitching a perfect game as a coach. Again, 6 turnovers and a tie football game.
Not to mention 12 penalties. And we're tied 35 all with 4 seconds to go. Just take a knee.
Oh, yeah, yes. Take 2 knees if you can.
Yeah.
A miraculous play by Tennessee kept this football game going on. Malik Foreman, one of the great plays you'll see defensively all year.
OT coming up. Texas, Kyle Field. And this overtime is made possible by Chick-fil-A. Gary, take us through the overtime rules, if you would.
Well, the most important thing to remember is that both teams get an opportunity. It's like a baseball inning. And then in the 3rd overtime period, that's when you have to start going for 2. If there is an advantage in this game, it has to be with Tennessee because they have the superior field goal kicker. I think A&M now has to decide throughout the whole overtime play is if they ever want to settle for a field goal here. Vern, I got a good friend, a Tennessee friend named Vince, who last week turned the game off with a minute to go. I think he's going to watch the whole game today, don't you think?
David Smith.
The other team will have the other choice. Still tied up for 1 overtime. We'll go to the 2nd overtime. The team who lost the first one.
Well, David Smith forgot to turn his mic on, so as far as we're concerned, he's mumbling. But you know what the overtime rules are. And here's Smith.
It's heads. Let's take that. It is heads. Play defense first.
So the Aggies will go on defense first.
And I'm sure Tennessee will go left to right towards their crowd,
yes,
which is in the right end zone.
And a very good crowd representing the Volunteers.
Texas A&M has won the toss and elected to play defense. Tennessee will be on offense going in this direction.
The other advantage Tennessee has is they're catching a very tired A&M defense. They've had 95 offensive plays run against them in this football game. A&M was what? 1 yard and 1 field goal kick from wrapping up this football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if Williams doesn't have the ball knocked out of his arms at the 1, by Malik Foreman, and it went through the end zone for a safety, and then LaCamera just missed what potentially would have been a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, it went through for a touchback. And they got the ball back, yes.
From the 25, here come the Volunteers. So the lineup for tonight will begin as soon as this one is in the books. Alvin Kamara in the backfield. Nothing this time.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Dobbs was upset that time, just like Trevor Knight, that he didn't keep it. That's a read play. He's got a lead blocker, and as soon as he handed it off, he knew he should have kept it. Watch this. Watch him go, oh, no, I should have kept that ball.
It's Myles Garrett who got the tackle. 2nd down and 10. This time he did keep it, and he's out of bounds near the 21-yard line.
You know, and the great strategy here by Tennessee and Mike DeBoard is running the keep towards Myles Garrett. He just doesn't have the speed. A healthy Myles Garrett might make that play. He cannot get out there and stop Dobbs. Wouldn't be shocked if it goes that way again.
3rd down 5. 2 wides to the right side. They're joined by a 3rd. Here's Dobbs rolling right, firing it, got, knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
Now remember, Tennessee has the advantage with a field goal kicker. They have to kick a field goal here. That puts the pressure on A&M. They don't want their field goal kicker to have to kick.
Aaron Medley is the kicker, the senior. Parker Henry will hold it. Riley Lovingood will snap it. Medley for the season is 4 of 6 with a long of 39. This will give Tennessee the lead from 34 yards out. Perfect.
Well, effective might be a better. I mean, I don't know why it didn't go real high.
No, but if it goes through those 2
perfect,
yellow poles
that's
that
right.
stick up.
Because I was worried about it. It didn't have the height and it wasn't pretty, but effective. How about that?
Okay, I'll settle for effective.
Whoa, because I did not know if that was going to get a hook outside. I'm all building them up as the advantage.
Well, I was listening to you.
Well, now if you're A&M, you could say, we did this before. We were in this situation against UCLA and we scored a touchdown to win.
At one point, the Aggies led 28-7. Quarterback draw. Knight inside the 20 near the 18-yard line. 2nd down. How ironic that both of these teams began the season with overtime wins. And here they are, each trying to go 6-0. Right now, Tennessee in overtime leads by 3. Williams.
Yeah, he pinged around there and still went forward and fell forward, kept those legs going. It wasn't a great blocking job by A&M, but looks like A&M will try to hurry up.
3rd and 1. Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, man.
I don't think so.
No doubt Tennessee knew what was coming. Look at them crowd this in. They were looking for the quarterback sneak. He got stuffed inside, and he didn't even come close. They're going to have to put the field goal team out there. That's one I think Noel Mazzoni would like to have over again.
And that, once again, is going to put it on the right foot of Daniel LaCamera. He just missed with a chance to give the Aggies the lead. Robertson, the snapper, McQueen, the holder, LaCamera to keep this thing going in overtime.
But Shumley's going to call a timeout again. Worked last time. Yes, he is.
Timeout, Tennessee. They're first.
With 8 seconds to go in regulation, this was LaCamera at the other end, Gary.
Yeah, he hooked this one badly. No height on it. He has to be thinking about that. He's not been able to get the ball up in the air, and when you pull him low, you really start thinking about what's wrong with my swing.
So Butch Jones is going to give LaCamera a chance to think it through. Josh Dobbs had the prayerful posture when LaCamera lined up for the potential game winner. That was from 38 yards out. This one a little closer. 4th and 1. Hold perfect. The kick.
Perfect.
There you go.
I had to help you on that one. Now that's perfect.
Nice job on the hold.
Sure was. Got those legs going forward. And that ball is the way it's supposed to look when you make that type of kick.
Well, let's keep it going. We haven't been here long enough, have we? Coming up tonight on CBS when this one is complete, NCIS followed by NCIS New Orleans, and a new edition of 48 Hours. Sun has descended to the west, and we go to the other end of the field, and a flag is thrown. False start. Texas A&M.
False start, 65 offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
You might understand it if it was A&M on the road, but they've had a number of those false starts. There's no noise here. I mean, when they have the ball.
So a first down 15, ball back up to the 30.
You do have to admit, I mean, he's got number 9 out here, and he's trying to cheat that snap count, and it's costing him.
Knight, they go up the middle again. And they get to the 25-yard line. They being the Aggies. Colton Jumper with a tackle on Trayveon Williams. Second down 10. He got the 5 back. Williams, the freshman, 28 carries, 216 yards. But a costly fumble. Knight will throw. Deep down the middle, he's got Christian Kirk. It is ruled a catch at the 1.
I don't know. He underthrew it. Let's see if it bounces. Did he get his hands underneath it or not?
They're going to try and get the snap before they replay it.
Yes, he did. He did. He got his hands underneath it.
Yes, he did.
He had him wide open. They're going to replay it. Good job of the replay official. It's a big play.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was a completed catch.
And I think it's going to stand, but he had him wide open on the play. Yep, he's going to get that one.
Yes, indeed.
Todd Kelly was playing off, got inside, a good throw. He'd have walked into the end zone, kind of pulled the string on it a bit, aimed it a little bit, but he got the completion.
In the second overtime.
Just a little wiggle by Christian Kirk that time froze Kelly. Watch him, just a little wiggle and then right down the middle. He's on Kelly one-on-one, Will and by. A well-thrown ball.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Completed catch, first down, Texas A&M.
That's a really tough matchup for your safety on Christian Kirk.
Kirk now 7 catches, 80 yards.
It was right down here against UCLA that Trevor Knight ran to the left side, kept it for a touchdown.
First down, goal. Guess what? It's Knight. Guess what? He got in. It was a tougher run, but Trevor Knight has put the Aggies on top 44-38.
Same play, the exact same play. Tennessee was ready for it, but Trevor Knight was a little too strong. Runs right through the tackle near the goal line. Bounces and lunges forward. It's going to stand.
It was Derek Barnett with the contact, and Malik Foreman flew right over Trevor Knight. And now the extra point attempt from Daniel LaCamera. Dare I say it?
Go.
Perfect.
You got it.
So now the responsibility back with Joshua Dobbs. Here's the catch by Christian Kirk. And Trevor Knight, as Gary said, he scored on this same play against UCLA to give them the win on the season opener.
And of course, in college football, the advantage of going second is you needed a touchdown. So Tennessee was in 4-down territory from the first snap. A&M was playing 3-down offense because they had to save a field goal. It's a completely different look for this A&M defense.
They are now going into the noise emanating from those fans. 2 wides to the right, 1 to the left. Play action, Dobbs back, goes deep down the middle, it's intercepted. Game over. Armani Watts with the interception. The Texas Aggies are undefeated. They are 6-0 for the first time since 1994. And it's time now for the Napa plays of the game.
Well, remember, this drive in overtime started with a penalty. They were backed up, and then good pass protection, had them wide open. A great catch by Kirk. You knew they were coming back with Trevor Knight, and that was the one for the touchdown.
Barnett tried to stop Knight, couldn't. Let's go down to Allie LaForce.
Coach, Tennessee tried its second half magic against you, but that magic ran out. What allowed your team to prevail?
I don't know, we just kept playing. You know, we made a lot of mistakes. Trayveon on a long run gets it punched out to seal the game. But, you know, guys just kept playing. What a crowd, huh? What a game.
6-0 for the first time since '94. What statement did this game make about your program?
Well, we've been limping around the last couple of weeks. We got a bye week finally. We can get healed up, healthy, right in the middle of the season. Bye weeks are a lot more fun when you win the game.
Congratulations, Coach. Enjoy.
All right, thank you.
Well,
I think apropos also for Tennessee to end the game on a turnover. They had 7 of them.
the pixie dust evaporated. But boy, they gave it a run, didn't they? The Volunteers of Tennessee. This one is in the books for Gary Danielson and Allie LaForce. I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from College Station, where the Aggies win it in double OT.